February has been a crazy month for video game fans. Not only did we get the long-awaited Uncharted movie, but we also got Lost Ark, Horizon Forbidden West, and Elden Ring. Yes, that's right. We're talking about the new Hotness this week on Geeks with Kids. Oh, and I guess a little Peacemaker. Let's do this! You need like a doo doo doo. You're now back into the call.
Like, what was the NBC tone? Like doo doo doo
doo doo doo. Yeah. But you know, maybe we'll make our own little one, like a doo doo doo. Nope, wait, that's something else. Welcome to Geeks and Kids, the geekiest podcast, the side of the lands between. I'm your host Eric, and I'm joined by the tarnished in training Hawk and the man who doesn't mind getting lost in an ark. I don't know, David.
My screen name is Ark Revenant. You could have just called me the Lost Ark or something.
I don't know. I didn't think of something good.
The man who doesn't mind getting lost tonight on Geraldo Rivera.
It was right there.
Oh my
all
God.
for the taking.
Oh my God, I didn't realize my stream beats was still going there. We probably had music playing really loud over that, but that's okay. It doesn't matter because yeah, we're gonna just talk about this stuff. How are you guys doing? How's it been? It's been a couple days. We watched Vox Machina like a week or two ago.
Oh my God, it was so good. Can we go back to then?
Was that last week? 2 weeks ago?
I think it was two. Well, it wasn't this past Friday. It was the Friday before
Right,
that,
we didn't do anything this Friday.
Yeah.
We basically had a week off.
Weird.
Because we didn't do D&D. We basically didn't stream stuff. You streamed Elden Ring.
I did.
We didn't have any Mando or any Boba Fett to watch.
We got nothing until
we got Andor in like a week or two.
Is Andor?
Like
I thought
soon.
No,
I keep
no way.
Andor's
coming out
man.
in March. When is the next Disney Plus show?
May is
that's
Obi-Wan.
May 25th. May 25th.
Right.
But
I
we
posted
have
that meme too.
We have Moon Knight this month in March.
Moon Knight. I knew there was something.
Oh yes.
Moon Knight.
I'm not crazy like Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. I don't know. Moon River.
Maybe, is that mean that I said that? Because Moon Knight, I don't know.
I don't know how they're going to portray him, but
yeah.
I'm looking forward to finding out.
You don't know about Moon Knight? People are like, he's Marvel's Batman. I'm like, nope, that's not right at all. That's
we
not
know
right.
what's wrong with Batman. We don't know what's wrong with Moon Knight.
No, we don't, and that's what's wonderful.
They also say that it's going to be a little different for the movies. They're not going to go.
I don't know. I saw
whatever.
Gentleman Moon Knight, so I'm just looking forward to that. I don't know if you know what that is, Hawk. It's Moon Knight.
Yeah,
in a suit.
I saw. I know. I saw it.
Oh yeah, it looks so good. Anyway, you guys are good. We're good. We've been. It's been a while. Like I said at the intro, we're talking about all the crazy video game goodness from this month of February.
It's hot
2022.
and it's fresh.
It's crazy. Like there's so much video game stuff. Like we had Uncharted, the movie at the beginning of the month. Then we had Lost Ark came out the week after. Then we had Horizon Forbidden Dawn the week after that. And then Elden Ring. Forbidden West, sorry. And then Elden Ring the week after that. Plus we had Peacemaker,
Yes.
finished somewhere in the middle of that. So yeah, that's good. Anyway, like we do every show, let's talk about what we're hyped out about, what we're loving, what's good. Dave, what are you liking right now? So
I unfortunately didn't finish my Marvel watch through of all the shows. I just today finished Jessica Jones season 2. But while I did that, I've been playing. This is probably going to be blurred out. I've been playing Final Fantasy 1 on my Vita.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I ever beat it. I've definitely come close to beating it. And
I definitely found my charger, which I'm very happy for.
I'm about 2/3 through right now. I'm having a great time playing a fighter or a warrior, a monk, a thief, and a white mage.
Nice.
And great. I haven't been playing a lot of Apex because I kept getting matched against Masters players.
That means you're getting better, man.
No. Well, that's so what I learned was because like Apex is like not in my what's good, because I'm like, I'll just play I'll do the bare minimum. I'll play 2 matches a day to do like the daily stuff, just so I'm like slowly progressing the thing. So it's not going to be like a ton of work to finish the battle pass at the end. I win a game almost every day. And I don't know what happened. Like I've been playing against the hardest players. They're stomping me when I'm playing with my friends. I play solo. I'm the kill leader. I'm doing great. I'm having great. Like
this sounds like when me and Hawk used to play Destiny, and then we wouldn't play with each other, and then we'd be like, we've been amazing recently, and then we play together, and it's just like we're garbage again.
Yeah, I guess because when I don't know how the matchmaking works, but I want to play games with my friends. Mm-hmm. So I convinced somebody to buy Diggy Hole. What is it? Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh yeah,
that's been great.
Rock and Stone. Yeah, you played yesterday, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I would have joined you, but I was drawing something last night for hours.
I think Rock and Stone is a better use of your time.
Yeah. I was gonna come on. And then I started watching John Oliver, and I was like, oh god, I don't just want to deal with anything now. Yeah, Rock and Stone. I do like it. They have that new Rival DLC pack, and it has lots of skins for the weapons, and they're so pretty. I like the skins; they look nice. We got to play on PlayStation PS4, so that we can play with Hawk.
I mean, I'm down.
Although he's stuck in Elden Ring, I don't know if that's what you're good.
In a couple of weeks, because I'm also still playing Crusader Kings 3 because the new DLC dropped for that, and it's phenomenal. There's finally like some decent content for something outside of Europe. So there's like some stuff to do in India, which is really cool. I started playing an India game. That's been awesome. It's such a good game, but it takes 300 hours to learn.
I installed that Total War game, the new one, Warhammer. Yeah, and I was like, don't think I'm ever going to play this. That's tough because that's an RTS.
Yeah. Where in the battle part, and then it's a turn-based game for everything else. I couldn't do Total. I don't know why I couldn't do Total War.
I did Rome a long time ago, but I don't remember it. Anyway, Hawk, what's your good?
So my good, I don't know. I'm going to be exploring my good a little later on in this segment as I go into a deep analysis of Elden Ring. I haven't really been watching anything new as far as television series of that. After Peacemaker, everything's news just seems so dull. So I decided to go and explore something I hadn't watched in years, and that is seasons 1 through 5 of The Kids in the Hall, which is on Prime Video right
it's
now.
On Prime. I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you wonder how the humor holds up after like so many decades.
Super well.
There were so many great sketches I had forgotten about. Do you guys remember?
It's top-notch absurdism, right? Like,
yeah. It's absurdist. It's Dada. It's like
I was so confused as a kid when I watched it. I was like, I don't know what's happening, and I just would sit there and watch it and be like, cool.
Yeah, it was like a show. You were like, I like this, but I don't know why.
Exactly.
It's so hard to define, they explore, they're never afraid of exploring Canadian humor either in that, Leafs games and beers.
It's an intrinsically Canadian show that's basically why it didn't work abroad like some other stuff.
And yet, like, it had all the backing in that. It was, Lorne Michael did the distribution for it and that, and it gave it a good like cult audience and that, especially when it was following
the States, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a few primetime shows and that. But I mean, the humor they were exploring and that broke a lot of levels and that, a lot of new territory and that. There was some stuff nobody had ever done at that time, and I'm thinking mainly of Scott Thompson at this time.
Yep.
I mean, like, it's safe to call them like the Canadian Monty Python, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Yeah, very well earned. I got a huge... I don't know if you guys remember this one sketch. It was two CEOs of this company and that, and they were just like frustrated. And the guy's like, why don't we go have a workout? And you hear this like raging 80s music go on, dun 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 as they get into their shorts and like gear up and that, and they hit the gym and that. Both of them go and they put their arms up against the wall and they just stand there. While a big guy with a handlebar mustache comes in, rips their shirts off, and unfurls a cat of nine tails.
Oh my god!
I remember that. Yeah,
I don't remember that, but is that in the first season?
It was in the first season. It was hilarious. How many did you get in this time? He's like 40 lashes.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I don't know if they could do that now.
They're coming back, so.
Well, they're coming back, yes.
The documentary's on there, right? It's out now?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's on Prime now. And there's the Last Laugh Stand, whatever.
Last one laughing is a great show. It's I guess reality type show where
it's like a competition.
Yeah, it's a competition. It's where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh no, 10 comedians are stuck in a room and they can't laugh at each other. And like the last one, Laughing Canada, has amazing talent. It has Caroline Ray, Deborah DiGiovanni, Jonathan Lavoie, LaJoy.
He's the one who did the "Show Me Your Genitals" song. If you remember that, I was
he
singing
did.
that.
He played Taco in the league for 5 seasons.
Oh yeah.
He was great.
Brandon Ash Muhammad, Andrew Fung from Kim's Convenience, which and then K. Trevor Wilson, Mae Martin, and then the three freaking some of the biggest Canadian comedians: Colin Mockery, Dave Foley, and Tom Green. And you're just sitting there, it's like, my God, like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about those three people just in a room. It's funny because when they were sitting there, because they don't know who's in the competition with them, it's all for charity. It's $100,000 for their charity of choice. And as they kept on bringing in like people, they're like, oh shit, Colin Mockery, I guess I'm out. And then I think Tom Green was the next one that came in after all the younger people, and they're like, these are all the people that I grew up with. I don't know how this is gonna work. And I think Dave Foley was the last one, and everyone's like, okay, I guess that's it. That's it. It's a great show. I fully recommend it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
There's 4 episodes right now. There's only 2 more. There's 6 episodes. They're stuck in a room for 6 hours, and they have like fun little like cameos from people. Jay Baruchel hosts it. He's
the host, right?
Yeah, he's all right, I guess. He's all right. I don't know.
He knows Seth Rogen.
Yeah. He knows a lot of people, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I love the Goon movies.
Yeah, he was good.
And like he was all behind them.
Yeah. That's fair. That's not what my good is, though. Although I do highly recommend that show. As I cough. So we got contacted by, we have a bunch of reps that contact us all the time, and one of them has talked to us about a charity event. It's by Covenant House Toronto. They're a charity in Toronto, and their month-long charity is Main Mission, and it's a premier gaming and esports fundraising initiative that starts on March 7th and it goes until April 2nd. The event brings together, gamers, content creators, streamers, and their audience, and through donations through their live streams, and on behalf of Covenant House, participants will raise funds and awareness for at-risk youth, which includes youth experiencing homelessness and survivors of sex trafficking. We have a video, so I'm going to play that now. It's a nice little 30-second video from them. I'm going to play that now, and you guys can have a listen.
Covenant House Toronto, that is what we are raising funds for tonight. A lot of the youth that they take in, basically they make meals, they'll provide, mental health services, anything you can imagine.
I know you're going to raise a lot of money and you're going to do a lot of good in terms of awareness raising, and hopefully you're going to have some fun.
10K? 10K! $10,000! $3,710.
Yeah. So, So Main Mission allows for everyday people to be heroes simply by doing what they love: playing video games, watching people stream video games, and creating digital content. All this to help change the lives of the youth Covenant House Toronto serves. It's cool. I don't know if we're gonna be streaming for them, but we might. I think it might be a good thing to do. I like doing charity things. We used to do Extra Life a number of years ago. I think maybe we'll go back to that too in November.
Yeah, and if we could raise money doing a charity thing by just playing video games, I'd be down.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to play them anyway.
Exactly. And I was going to stream them. Why not do it to help people, right? In
fact, I'm not going to play video games until somebody starts giving to charity.
And be like, oh, okay, that's fair.
I'm going to be miserable.
Yeah. So we'll put some links in the chat below, and I'll keep talking about it as we stream this month and talk and do stuff online. Yeah, so that's good.
It's good.
Yeah. So normally we do news. Yeah, we'll do news. I don't have much. There's only one real thing that I wanted to write, and it's about Star Trek 4.
The movie?
Yeah, so
Yes.
so the Kelvin
Oh,
verse.
you mean the rebooted?
yeah, the
Chris
Kelvin verse
Pine.
is the reboot, the 2009
Kelvin verse,
Star Trek. Yeah, so at the investor meeting for Paramount, where Paramount was like, "Ooh, we're not called Viacom CBS anymore. We're called Paramount." They're like, "We're gonna do Star Trek 4." And it's going to include all the original cast, not all, but the cast of the 2009 crew, which was awesome.
Minus
Anton Yelchin, who tragically passed away, unfortunately.
Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
it sucks.
But everyone, like all the fans, went, "Oh yeah, holy shit, that's awesome!" Because those movies were fun, and it's been a long time since the last one. But then
2013.
yeah.
No.
But then the Hollywood Reporter was like, "You know who was surprised about this announcement? The cast of the Kelvin verse."
Oh god.
So the trade source says that most, if not all, reps for the franchise's key cast, that's Pine, Quinto, Simon Pegg, Carl Urban, Zoe Saldana, and John Cho, were not aware that an announcement for another film was coming, much less that their clients would be touted as being in talks to be ready to film by the year's end.
Oh my god. How? What? How? What?
Could they not have put some feelers out to their
Yeah,
what?
agents and that before this?
That makes zero sense.
Yeah. Especially after the last one died. Like, they were going to bring Chris Hemsworth back and do this, like, weird time travel-y thing with Kirk and his dad, which would have been awesome. But then it just sort of broke down.
That was around the time they were talking about Tarantino doing his.
No, it was before
Star
that.
Trek.
It was
before that.
Yeah.
Well, I know Tarantino had talked about it because, like, he would always go on about how his favorite episode of TNG was Yesterday's Enterprise. And if he was going to do a movie, he would do something along that lines.
Yeah. But with more swearing and blood, I guess. I don't know. That movie died, so right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That movie's not coming out.
No, not anymore.
That movie's not coming out. This movie's not coming out.
I hope this movie comes up because I would love to see John Cho back.
I would like to see all of them again.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. Even if they're on contract with Paramount, right? Like, hey, you owe us a movie. They don't go, yeah, but I don't have to make it that one. You know what I mean? Like when they talked about, Marvel actors sign up for like 4 movies or whatever. They're like, yeah, but if this guy just appears in like 5 seconds in Civil War, that counts as part of his contract, right?
That's like Tom Holland, who was like, I got contracted for like 8 movies.
And he's done 5.
But also the bit parts too, didn't he? I don't remember.
Yeah, but even if they were under contract and that, there's still stipulations in that contract that there's a reasonable expectation of a time frame for movies and that. And 9 years since the last movie,
I
pretty
think
much releases them from any responsibility.
I think they were only contracted for 3 movies, and they did the 3. So the 4th was where they were doing the big renegotiation. That's why Chris Pine didn't come back. He was like, I could do this, or I can do, I don't know, Jack Ryan. I think he did a Jack Ryan movie after that.
Kind of
he did one that didn't go over well.
I don't know if they're all like blockbuster stars. And like Zoe Saldana is definitely still like a huge box office star. I feel like Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto have definitely faded a little bit.
Yeah,
because they've pushed more into like longer form story. Like Zachary Quinto was on
Nosferatu,
and Chris Pine did The Last Kingdom. Was it The Last Kingdom or something like that, or the whatever?
Yeah,
the Netflix movie or TV show or whatever.
The Last King of Scotland or something. I can't remember.
That's
all right.
That's with Forrest Whitaker.
Oh yeah, my bad.
It's from like 1998. Isn't that about a dictator?
It was about Idi Amin.
Yeah,
his brutal regime in Ethiopia.
Deep divergence.
I'm pretty sure he was a king. Chris Pine was a king, and he was Scottish. I think that isn't Florence Pugh in that movie too.
I know the one you mean. It's on Netflix, right?
Anytime I see a movie trailer and I go, "Oh, none of that makes any sense," I can't watch this now. Like when shield walls are wrong and like everyone's wearing leather for some reason, it's like none of this makes sense. Just whatever.
I'm looking it up. Oh, he was in Wonder Woman. He's popular, right?
He was in Wonder Woman.
The Outlaw King on Netflix.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, but
he plays Robert Bruce.
Yes.
Yeah. But they're not, they're not, and he's in Wonder Woman stuff, but they're not headlining movies anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
I get what you mean. It's
so
like he
are they do they deserve more money or the same amount of money or less money now? You know what I mean? Like that's all good. And when you go, we're going to make the movie and the cast goes, okay, but we're not, like, you just stuck your foot in your mouth because now they can negotiate way more in their favor.
And we all know there's only one Chris Pine movie we're looking forward to next year, and that's Dungeons and Dragons.
I have no idea. I have no idea what to expect of the movie because it is a good director. Like everybody involved seems good, but at the same time, it's like this sounds like it's just going to be a higher budget version of Dungeons and Dragons 2: Wrath of the Dragon God, which was a good movie because of the commentary.
You never know. Oh,
I have it on VHS somewhere. I bought it from Blockbuster.
Hey, Galaxy Star Queen's in the chat. I gotta look at this chat way more often. I don't do that, and I'm terrible. Hi.
You're doing other stuff.
I know. I'm trying to read this other thing. What do you think other than that? Like, do you think they're gonna actually? I feel like the cast now has Paramount by the cojones.
Yeah,
like they can probably just negotiate whatever they want. I feel like Zoe Saldana needs like a good paycheck. She's the one who's the bigger draw.
She's
out
the
of all
biggest
of them.
star for sure.
Yeah.
Oh no, Simon Pegg. Oh, I don't know. Simon Pegg not really anymore, right?
He's stepped
He's
back
cult
a lot, right?
though.
He's so cold, but he's like he just keeps working. You know, he's been on so many different things in that since like Star Trek and that. It's not his bread and butter, and he doesn't need to be the lead guy in it. And that.
And I feel like The Boys.
Carl
Urban is very different from Bones.
Maybe Bones has gone through some shit right now. We don't know.
Fucking diabolical. You're like, what's wrong with you? You weren't British before. Aren't you like an American doctor?
I feel like is Simon Pegg still on The Boys? I think he only shows up sometimes.
He was
right?
He was the dad.
He was the dad of Huey.
He could appear, but I mean, it's not.
Yeah, he is definitely a voice in the animated one. Yeah, because he plays Huey because that's the fan casting.
Yeah, Huey
right?
was like based on him basically.
Yeah. So we'll see.
I read that comic back in the day.
Me too. I have it somewhere back there in that shit back there. Anyone have any other news that they want to chat about? I don't think anything else has really happened.
I got a midterm on Thursday. If anybody's interested.
What's it in?
30% of my grade.
Oh, fair. We got the final trailer for Morbius because that movie's still coming out.
God, how are they? Remember, that was my what's good last week, right, or last time, right? I was like, this needs to end.
Yep.
It needs to stop. Just release them. Like, just put the movie on YouTube at this point. With this many trailers.
Next
37 trailers.
I think it's out next month. Is it April? Is April next month? Yeah.
Well, tomorrow is March.
Yeah, March. Fantastic Beasts has another trailer. The Secrets of Dumbledore. I guess Batman's getting good reviews. I'm not trying to read any of them, but they already announced the second one. At least they're working on it. So cool. I guess they're really happy about that.
It only took 7 years to make this one.
Yeah.
Even if it was bad, I think at this point it's still going to make $1 billion.
He was only Harkoff said that Simon Pegg was only in season 1.
Interesting. I think that's probably right. Actually,
I don't remember
the
if it was
first
in the
initial episodes. Once Stewie basically leaves the apartment, then that's it.
Oh, here's something you guys might be interested in. The 5th Indiana Jones movie has finished filming. It's done. That means they're editing it and putting special effects to make it look not old.
Because if you Google Lost Ark, you'll basically get the top two searches are obviously the game I'm going to talk about, and Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is the soundtrack I'm listening to right now during the podcast. Because it's so good. I just put it on.
One more thing. We put it on our Twitter and stuff, but the PlayStation VR 2 got announced and then shown. So we got to see what the headset and the controllers look like. It looks really good.
Not wireless, which is
not
good,
wireless, yeah.
Honestly.
I have
good.
one piece of news you haven't announced yet.
Yo.
John Williams will be coming back to do the Obi-Wan score.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Just the theme.
That must mean he's already been working on it, though, right?
Yeah, he probably did it already. It's probably in the can. Because the show's composer is probably going to have to take themes from that and play it in the actual...
Imagine John Williams composing a single TV series. That would... it seems like such a step down for like...
Who did the music for...
It's not bad. Right, to do a series, but like he's like 98, 99 or something.
He retired after the last Star Wars movie. He was like, I can't do anymore, and then he saw the last Star Wars movie. He was like, I gotta do one more thing. Right?
He's like, this can't be the last.
Can't end on this note.
No,
literally can't end on this note.
Did you know he created like hours and hours of music for that film, and they cut the shit out of it. The audio
So,
editors. Oh my
If
god.
you're interested in composer stuff, follow Austin Wintory on YouTube.
Yeah.
And because he dives into that stuff really deep. He's a video game composer. He did like Journey and a bunch of other awesome games.
Mhm.
And he just did a John Williams podcast with the internet's favorite guy, Troy Baker.
Yep. Did they talk about the whole controversy with Rise of Skywalker?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Okay,
I
haven't
I don't actually
listened.
care about composing. I just follow him on YouTube.
I usually listen to it, but I haven't listened to the last couple episodes. But when they were doing the Oscar nominations, they released like a shit ton of like clips and stuff that weren't in the score that we heard in the movie or on the soundtrack. So we're like, what the fuck? It was very annoying as a fan of John Williams to
Well,
hear.
the thing is, apparently that's super normal, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like you make way more score than you end up using a lot of the time, right? Just like you make more movie than you end up using.
It's true. There were definitely themes from stuff that got cut because that movie was cut to shit. Because it was shit. Harcroft said, "Oh, you mean the fourth Indiana Jones movie?"
No, wouldn't it be like the sixth now? Because there's young Indiana Jones.
I mean,
That's right.
do you mean you don't enjoy me and my crystal skull?
You know, the
He
premise
still
of the
has it on
movie
his
is fine.
desk, people.
The premise of the movie is fine. It's the execution that really failed us.
Yeah,
There was
it's
no
true.
need.
It's true. They could have made it better, but there are a
Like,
crap ton of
They
young
could
Indian-
have dug up Errol Flynn and done a better pulp movie than what they did
Yeah, I don't know.
with
man.
all the CGI crap. Just,
Let's get off of this sad Indiana Jones talk. Let's talk about the hotness because we're going to talk about the hottest things. Do you guys want to talk about the movies / Uncharted / Peacemaker first, or do you want to go into the video games?
let's talk about that because I haven't seen either.
All right. Let's.
I want to know because you guys really want me to watch Peacemaker. You
Oh, we
really
so
want me
Yeah,
to-
let's
do,
talk
uh,
about Peacemaker first.
yeah.
Why not? Let me pull up the.
Because you're like, oh, it's so funny, and it's like the guy's an asshole.
So Peacemaker, the
Do I
TV
need more
series,
assholes in my life?
is an American television series created by James Gunn for the streaming service HBO Max. It's based on the DC Comics character Peacemaker. It's the first DC Extended Universe television series, and it's a spin-off of the 2021 film The Suicide Squad. Set after the events of the film, the series further explores Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, and he goes up against, some stuff. He's teamed up with a bunch of people who got in shit at the end of Peacemaker because there was a little bit of a revolt with the team, because Amanda Waller wanted them to just leave Starro and just get the fuck out. But they were like, no, we must kill this giant mind-altering alien. This series is so fucking good. Basically, this happens a couple years after the Suicide Squad. He gets released from jail. He goes to jail / for recovery because he had gotten shot in the throat and was a killer.
Just correction. This takes place very much right after in that. I mean,
I thought it was a couple. I thought there was like a year or two.
I think there's about like maybe 3 months of that.
Really?
That's how long it took him to recover. Because we see once the last image we saw of him in the Suicide Squad was in the post credits and that where they visited, they were visiting the hospital and that. And this is him just ready to get out of hospital, and just immediately gets thrown right back
If
into
he's
the
so
mix.
important to their like government program, why wouldn't they give him something to like heal faster?
I think he's not really that important. He's sort of a patsy.
He's a killer. He's a killer.
Yeah,
he's
like,
a very good killer, but he's a killer.
That's why the Suicide Squad, they're disposable. Disposable.
Yeah, I'm Sylvester Stallone, and this is the Dispendables.
I like it.
And
The cast in this. Oh, yeah. Now I'm playing with this goddamn crystal skull. I really like this show because Peacemaker, I know it's sort of cliche to have a villain, especially now with all these Disney movies, to have a villain and then go through their backstory.
And he's funny and he shoots people just like Deadpool, right, guys? And he maybe breaks the fourth wall.
He does not break the fourth.
break the fourth wall.
No, he doesn't.
I know.
Okay.
He does become
it's
sympathetic. Yeah.
He's a hard sell, exactly, because he was such an asshole in the Suicide Squad and that. And in this, it's like they don't try and downplay that much in that, of his assholery in that, because he rubs everybody the wrong way right from the beginning in that, His mind is still stuck in the 80s as far as like his interactions with people.
But to be fair, he the reason that this series is happening is because he feels remorse for killing a hero, like an American hero, like Rick Flag. Like he knew that he was a soldier doing his job, and he, like, you know, he's all about peace and justice and through any means necessary, which is what he said in
what
the
does he say?
I'll
kill as many women and children as I have to. I love
Men, women. Yeah, I love
Men,
peace so
women.
much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many I have to kill to get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you know that and Brent is in the chat. He's like, Peacemaker.
Like, basically, the guy is going through this massive identity crisis right now, and it all stemmed from him killing Rick Flag, and the last thing Rick Flag said to him, and that Peacemaker. He's like, what a joke. Yeah.
And it reminds him of how like his how he grew up with his father, who's like a fucking crazy Nazi played by a Terminator, and
he's the Nazi other Nazis worship.
Yeah, and then through like such a traumatic episode with his brother that he ended up accidentally killing him, and his father blaming him. Like it's such a good. Like, I didn't think I would feel so much for John Cena, but he does such a good job playing, like, even like little nuances in the show. Like, I don't know, he very much surprised me. Like, I know he fought to play a superhero, and like he fought for any role because everyone just saw him as, you know, that guy. But
like, really, this show is not so much about the redemption arc of Peacemaker, which it is, but it's the redemption arc of John Cena. And that, there was a whole story about him. He's been fighting for years and that, trying to, like, you know, nail down some sort of a superhero movie, and that you know, they play into that with the humor too, and that, you know, because they always comment on Peacemaker's body, and it's like, you don't have a superhero body in that, you know, you're too bulky.
That's terrible.
But the fact that he plays this role without the slightest hint of like any sarcasm or, you know, towards it or himself, and that he plays this genuinely, and that, and that's why everybody loves him for it, and that, and you know, there are such tender moments in it, and that should not work. You know, I have never loved Motley Crue. I hate Motley Crue.
No one likes Motley Crue.
That's not true.
And yet there is this one scene in the show, and that where I'm sitting there and I'm just mesmerized.
Yeah,
you know, while a Motley Crue song is playing.
Brent wrote something really good in the chat. He wrote, the show does a fantastic job of making him an asshole, but explaining in a sympathetic way why he is an asshole, and that's so true.
Yeah.
And
okay, I gotta go like real for a second though, right?
Yeah. Go
because he's a lot like Rick from Rick and Morty, right? Like, he's an asshole, but like he gets the job done, right? And he's like, yeah, he's useful and like all this other shit. Okay, he's an asshole.
Yeah, I guess so.
But he's kind of smarter than everybody else, but he gets the job done.
He's not smarter than everyone
certain people
else.
look up to that guy and they go, "That's who I want to be like," which is not the point of the character. So
there's only one person that looks up to him.
The
and
thing
he's
I don't
psycho.
like about
and he's way worse.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And Rick and Morty is obviously put in a very farcical manner, whereas this show is not.
Mm-hmm.
When you go like, oh, he's sympathetic, blah 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 blah. So the reason I don't like all this stuff is because in real life, if you're an asshole for that long, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, you're like 50 years old and you've murdered all these people. It doesn't matter. That's it. Like, you don't get to turn around now. You've been an adult for this long. You've decided to be an asshole for this long. I don't want to like you. I'm not gonna like it. It's over.
I can see that, but I personally, I do feel people can change. I've seen some people change.
Yeah.
And I feel like
but
people deserve.
I'm not going to be. I don't.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
I literally have people in my life who are terrible people, and then if they ever decide, oh, now I'm going to turn over, it's no, not with me. I'm done, and that's why I'm not interested in this stuff.
That's fair.
I'm not interested in the redemption of Nazis.
Yeah. See, I understand why you wouldn't like this show. Like.
Yeah,
I don't mind. I don't mind that type of. Yeah, I don't want to see a redemption of a Nazi. To be fair,
all I can say is that, you know what, it's 8 hours of your life. You know, give it a shot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Then come back and tell us you.
Dave, you made me play Lost Ark for an hour.
For 8 hours. But not for 8 hours.
But you can watch one episode. Brent wrote another good thing. He's an asshole who wants to be a good person but doesn't know how to not be an asshole. That's true. And through his team, he actually through Adebayo, is when he started to, you know, actually being a good. I don't want to say good person because he's not really a good person by the end, but he's better.
he's at least found a bit of a trajectory in that.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like people get idolized for like, well, like we're gonna reform this person, but he won't actually. That's actually that'll be the arc of the characters. He won't actually fully reform, and he's not gonna.
I don't
pay
think
for
he
what
can.
He did.
But
I think you are reading into him way too much in that. You know, this was a character, you know, who was almost a throwaway from the Suicide Squad.
Well, that's the thing. Suicide Squad is a serious movie with some comedy.
Is it?
Yeah, Starro's kind of a serious thing.
It's serious, but also farcical in that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you
and
know,
then
this
Peacemaker
whole
is
thing has
just
been
like
about
I don't know. I like James Gunn. I like his stuff, but I just don't
Yeah.
want to like Peacemaker, and I think I'm gonna refuse.
I think if you like James Gunn stuff, you will like.
Yeah, this has to be his funniest.
Mhm.
This is definitely his funniest material since Slither, you know, which is one of my favorite movies.
I have Slither over there on DVD.
I have that on DVD too. Is that a movie I want on Blu-ray? Do I want to see that in
No, you
high
don't need to
def?
see that. It probably wasn't made in high def. Probably wasn't high budget.
That's what
enough.
makes it good. Any other thoughts on Peacemaker? I know they're getting a second season, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, easily. I mean, like there was like what the #1 show in the world at one point.
Yeah, it was crazy good.
Really?
The band who did the theme song saw a crazy resurgence, which was the first time since the 80s. They actually went on like fucking like on like talk shows and performed the song, and it's like, why do you still have long hair? Why do you still look like you're from the 80s? It's crazy.
Oh man, you did 80s like and glam rock guys in general and that. That's a style that they do not change. That's a style that, you know, they're basically tattooed with.
Brent is asking us a very important question in the chat. It is, how does season 2 top that credit scene? The opening credits. They have to keep the same song, right? They have to. Would they get? Would people?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, they have to. I don't think they can really. I think they're locked into that theme and opening sequence and that.
Well, no, they have to change it because they're going to be characters that aren't there anymore.
True.
So just change those parts.
I think they're locked into the song though, because like that just seems to be his anthem.
It has to be a bigger like musical number, right? It has to be a bigger like that one was great in like a great like cheesy 80s/90s, early 90s music video / musical.
What if season 2 doesn't have credits?
Oh,
like 24, they just start.
That would kill me.
I
would cancel my non-existent HBO Max.
I would refuse to watch it.
I refuse to find a way to find this.
Also, Peacemaker was the #1 show with only 73 million viewers. That's kind of low for how big some things usually are. Like Top Gear used to be the top biggest show in the world like 15 years ago. That was consistently pulling in over 100 million viewers worldwide. So it's surprising that the top thing in the world was only 73 million viewers.
Brent doesn't think they're going to be locked into that song. I'm going to ponder this. What if it is the that song he played on the piano, but the actual the actual glam rock version?
I don't think it would work as well.
Is it the Scorpions? Is that why I saw the Scorpions on something?
No, but the Scorpions.
The band is called Wim Wham.
Wim Wham.
I've definitely what?
Yes, you must look up Wim Wham.
Somebody was like, we should use the name Wham. They're like, Wham's taken. They're like, easy, Wim Wham.
There aren't they?
Oh, sorry, Wigwam.
Wigwam.
Aren't they? Are they Swedish?
Wigwam is a Norwegian glam metal band formed in Halden in 2001. Wigwam's lineup consisting of vocalist Glam, guitarist Teeny, bassist Flash, and drummer Sporty have remained unchanged since the band's formulation.
They were the first Spice Girls before. Oh my god. Yeah, Wigwam. I saw them like the singer and the guitarist just went everywhere and just started performing. And I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They look good for their age. Like they've got to be what, 70s, 60s?
Oh, they're Finnish, sorry. All they do is read.
I mean, they were part of like a resurgence in Europe and that, because like, you know, once like, you know, grunge and alternative music destroyed glam rock in the States and that, it moved its act over to Europe because of the festival circuit over in Europe has always celebrated and continues to.
They formed in 2001. They're not that old, I guess.
They are not that old. Oops. They are probably in their 40s.
Oh god.
Wait, the band I looked up was formed in 1968. What the hell? Wigwam?
Wigwam.
Wigwam.
They're
WIGWAM.
Finnish?
Norwegian.
No,
Yeah.
there's a Finnish band called Wig.
How many
Wigwam as
wigwams are there? Too many wigwams.
A Finnish progressive rock band formed in 1968. They founded after the split of the seminal blues section. Like
That is not the
There's-
same one.
That
it's
is not
spelled the same.
one.
It's one word or two words.
Two
words.
words.
This is one word.
Oh. Ooh, copyright. Oh,
That's
boy.
how they went. That's how they got out of it. Just like Bush and Bush X, right? Good old 90s. That's a good old
Suede,
90s.
Suede and the London Suede. Oh hell, even Nirvana had to pay for their band name.
Yeah.
There was a band. Yeah,
Was it Canadian, the band? I don't remember. I don't remember what it was.
I think I'm pretty sure they were some sort of English prog rock band.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Based on their song. Any other final thoughts on Peacemaker? Dave, you have any questions for us about Peacemaker?
No, I don't care.
Oh my god!
The new
I'm
Oh.
today's
cast-
skeptic. I'm what's bad today.
The new cast members, that were added to the series, were so good, and I'm glad they added them. I look forward to some of them returning, if any. They also had some great cameos and like shout outs to the DC universe. I do enjoy that. Apparently, they had filmed Batman and Cyborg in a cameo situation for the last episode, but they cut both of those characters.
It was the Ben Affleck Batman suit too. I saw that.
Yep, yeah, Ben Affleck Batman suit and the Ray Cyborg as well.
I did see the scene where he just shits all over Batman. So I was
He
like,
does.
yeah, that's the same thing everybody says about Batman.
It's true. He
that,
shits.
that he doesn't kill. I just watched Daredevil season 1 and 2. It's the same thing the Punisher says about Daredevil. He goes, I put him in the ground. You don't.
That's fair.
So,
Before we leave Peacemaker, how about a shout out to Annie Chang, who played Sophie Song, Detective Sophie Song.
She
on the
was so
series.
good.
She was amazing.
I've never seen her in anything. I don't think I have seen her in anything, but
And yet, like, oh my god,
she was like a very good lead. Like, and she was like, ooh, the guy that was her underling was in like 90s movies. I can't remember his name though.
The actor's name is Lachlan Monroe. He was great. I know I've seen him in he's a character actor I've seen in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he was in like White Chicks and Scary Movie. Oh shit, he was in Unforgiven? Damn, I did not know
what a
that.
detective name that is. Lachlan Monroe, P.I.
Wait a minute. Oh my god. Was he the one who played the kid?
Yeah, he played Texas. No, he played Texas Slim. Texas Slim. Lachlan Monroe. That's a great name. That is a good name.
Oh,
he's Canadian
God,
too.
Yeah, I remember this guy. He was in everything.
It was a kid.
I've seen that face everywhere.
Yeah, he was in Lucifer. He was in so much stuff. Tomorrowland. Remember Tomorrowland?
Scary Movie?
Yep. True Justice. He was in, oh my god, his IMDb is so
How
long.
do we not have a show where we just dig into people's IMDb?
We should.
That would be, yeah.
We should do
Absolutely.
like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon where we just go through IMDb forever. All
He
right.
was on an episode of Scorpion. Remember Scorpion?
I used to like that show for the first season and then I stopped watching it. Let's talk about Uncharted. We're gonna talk about Uncharted, the movie.
I haven't seen it.
I'm the one.
Eric, tell us about Uncharted.
I'm the one person who saw this movie.
And you were the one person who went in with such, you had
High
all these
hopes. Uncharted Uncharted is one of my favorite franchises ever. I remember playing Uncharted 1 just by accident because one of my roommates was like, "You have a PS3, you should play this game." And I was like, "Okay." And you start the first level, and you're like, "Oh fuck, you have 6-axis controls. That's garbage. I hate that shit." But then you play the story, and you're like, "Fuck, this is a good game." And it was a good game, and there were some very cinematic moments. And I think it was the first game where I remember feeling like, "Oh shit, this could be a movie." There were sequences that are really good.
It was like somebody went, "We should make Indiana Jones into a video game," and somebody went, "We already have that. It's called Tomb Raider." And they went, "Yeah, but what if we made it funny?"
Yeah,
And it's Nolan North. And they went, I guess. And
but Indiana
basically
Jones
what it
is funny, and they're like, "But we can't get the rights for Indiana Jones. Let's make something better. Let's make something new." And they did Uncharted. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. the
spin-off series.
The spin-off one, which I can't remember the name of, but I have the soundtrack.
What, Golden Compass or
Uncharted
the other one?
No, Uncharted Legacy.
Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy is the PS4 one. Golden Compass is the one on Vita, which is actually quite good.
It's very good. I do like it too. So this movie it was released on February 7th, 2022, and it's a prequel to all of the video games.
Is it?
It's not really set in the
It's clearly not set in the same thing.
Although they do take notes from Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 showed the backstory of Sam and Nathan,
brother.
who grew up in a orphanage because their parents had died. This one, we get Nathan Drake. He's about 20-ish, and it's his first time meeting Sully, and it's their first adventure together. It was, for me, it was all right, I guess. The set pieces were pretty cool, but sort of recycled. Like they did the airplane thing, which was in Uncharted 3, where there's a cargo ship and then the shit starts flying out the back and you have to climb up. And then
I feel like they've done that in something else though too,
like Mission Impossible,
and like Air Force One.
Was it an Air Force One?
Where he goes, "Get off my plane!"
Yeah, but
he throws Gary Oldman out the back. With
but he just flies out. But like he's been not the shit out the back.
I feel like there's
Fast and Furious, I'm sure, has done something like this.
Oh, yeah, because that runway scene is like 20 minutes long.
I thought Nathan Drake, like Tom Holland played Nathan Drake, and he was all right. Like he's quippy. He was like Spider-Man, obviously. So I have no qualms with him, I guess.
But he's better as Spider-Man.
He's better as Spider-Man. Mm-hmm.
The problem is he's still a little too childlike, in his appearance.
He is young, but he doesn't
right?
He doesn't carry himself like he does as Spider-Man, which I don't know if that makes sense. He actually seems like a sort of grown up. I don't know if that seems weird
because because Tom Holland, the way with Peter Parker, like the best aspect that he plays off of Peter is that uncertainty, that little bit of uncertainty that he has, it's like, self-doubt and that. Nathan Drake never, as a character in a video game, never really expresses self-doubt, right?
No, it's
more like blind confidence and
confidence and getting the shit beat out of him, right? Like, and he's like, I'm going to get the shit beat out of me and I'm going to make quips the whole time. And there are quips, but not as much as I thought. That short film that had Nathan Fillion in a couple?
Oh,
that was pitch perfect. Like it felt really right. And all the people that they had in there felt like the characters. Yeah. Mark Wahlberg
Stephen Lang is Sully, perfect.
Mark Wahlberg as Sully does not work for me at all. At all. The girl that played what's her name? Chloe Fraser from Lost Odyssey. She's very good. I really liked her a lot. I think Claudia Black played Chloe Fraser in the video games.
Yeah, which is sort of a weird, but
I didn't mind her. Antonio Banderas was Santiago Moncada, who's not in the video games, obviously. Good. He was a good bad guy. He's all right.
Scenery.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
And then the other bad guy was Tati Gabrielle, who was Joe Braddock, and she was like the other bad guy. Basically, they're trying to look for a treasure, as one does in an Uncharted game. I think the thing that bothers me is that they sort of cherry picked all these things, but nothing felt original or really, really good. Like it was just like it's all right. I can watch this and eat popcorn, and I'm happy because I'm eating popcorn.
Of the best parts of the video games in a movie. But that's kind of what a movie is, right? Is like, let's take a bunch of set pieces, connect them together for plot, and then throw it on the screen.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think any of the mysteries were really that cool or like
are they?
You pointed out that they were too easy to figure out.
The puzzles and the like I figured out things before the fucking movie did, and I was like, that's not good.
When you play the game, are the puzzles actually that difficult too? It's usually just move some blocks around, right? Or rotate a thing.
But it always seemed like
they're not actually hard puzzles.
But it seemed like they would go through like the motions of trying to figure out finding pieces and trying to think. This one was like they had to get two keys, they put them together, and that opened something. And you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, I guess.
Just like missile silos.
Yeah. And the end was like a giant, like, ooh, you saw it in the trailer. It's two fucking pirate ships getting swung around by helicopters in the air, and they're shooting cannons at each other. The thing I liked about Uncharted's finales in the video games was that it was always Nathan versus one person. And it was always personal, and the stakes were really high, and it felt a little more grounded than this movie, which I thought was a little weird. I don't know, the end battle just was like, okay, it felt like a Marvel movie where just like, let's throw a bunch of CGI at you and you'll be impressed. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
The end of Uncharted 3 might be the most cinematic ending of all the games, because it was literally the guy was just like, I would rather die than not get all this money. Was like the plot. Nathan Drake's like, I'm not going to die for this. Like, it's not worth dying over whatever several million. He's like, I'm out of here. This place is on fire. And you just
what's
fight
that,
the
Uncharted
guy.
4?
I'm pretty
With
sure that's
Rafe?
3.
In the pirate ship with the
When you're fighting Rafe?
Yeah, that's 4.
Oh, is it 4? Okay,
Yeah.
sure. But like, I just love that the guy was like, no, I'd rather die than be like, than get out of here empty-handed. And Nathan Drake's just like, that's not why I'm here.
Yeah.
This is an adventure. What are you talking about? But like, I'm guessing the movie doesn't have that.
No, well, I don't think there's no personal tie to the adventure in hand. Although
Plus,
I guess
wouldn't
sort of.
Tom Holland just beat the shit out of Antonio. Like, I love Antonio Banderas. He's a huge badass, but he's like 70 now, right?
Do you guys want spoilers? Okay, spoilers for people listening. Spoilers. Spoilers. Antonio Banderas dies like halfway through the movie.
That's actually good. That's really good. I like that, actually.
He gets killed by the girl that I mentioned earlier.
So she's the villain?
So she's the big villain.
Or is it Chloe? Because Chloe turns on
No,
him in
not
the
Chloe.
games.
So she turns in the video game. You know, I expected either Chloe or Sully to turn in this, and it was Chloe this time. I was like, okay, that makes
Chloe's
sense.
your ally in 2, and then your enemy in 3, right?
But she becomes your ally again in 3. Like she's your enemy for part of it.
Yeah, she's the
the turn. Whereas in the first one, Sully was the bad guy and then turned good again, right?
Well, but that was a plot. That was a thing where like Sully had to pretend to be the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which would have been a good plot for this movie, probably.
It would have
been. You build up that relationship between them, then he turns on him, and he's like, kid, he was just a con the whole time.
I think Sully in this movie.
What do we know about movies? We just watch them constantly.
Sully in this movie, they didn't really trust each other throughout the whole movie until the end when Sully chose Nathan over the treasure. So you're like, oh, yay, they're going to be friends now. And I was like, okay, whatever. This movie has, what is this on Rotten Tomatoes? I think a 40 something from reviewers, and then 90 from audience. So I don't know, like
It's weird because in the case of something like what Tom Holland's able to do right now, because Tom Holland could pick up like any role he wants basically after Spider-Man, right? He did that. What was that movie called with Robert Pattinson and stuff, where there's like they're like shooting each other in like the 30s or whatever. I forget.
It's
on Netflix.
The one
Devil All the Time.
The devil all the time. Yeah.
So that's the kind of movie. That's the kind of movie where it's like you make a Spider-Man, you get to make one of those, right?
Yeah.
Like Vin Diesel makes a Fast and the Furious, so he can make a Riddick movie. He makes Riddick movies, so he can make the last Witch Hunter movies, right? Like you make one for you,
yeah,
and then one for the For
but
the
Tom
money.
Holland did this one because he loves the Uncharted game, so he's like, yes, I will play Nathan Drake because I love Uncharted, and I was like, okay.
Right, but he definitely didn't read the script and go, they fucking nailed it. They nailed it.
Yeah, I don't know.
How are they gonna make this work? He goes, I don't know. They make Spider-Man work, and that's technically Sony too, right? It's like, no, that's Disney. Disney's making that work.
Nolan North does show up in this movie for a cameo, and it's pretty funny when he shows up. He says they see Chloe and Nathan Drake coming out of the water because they had just fallen after the whole plane thing, and Nolan North is like, hey, what happened to you? And he's like, oh, I fell out of a plane, blah, blah, blah. And Nolan North goes, oh, that happened to me once. And I was like, ha. You should be.
It's funnier when you see it in the movie,
yeah.
though, right?
No, that's what everyone did in the audience. They're like, ha, it's Nolan North. Because it was all people who got to go see it early and who were, I guess, fans of the game. And they played the theme song 3 times. The Uncharted theme song played 3 times in that movie. 3 times. That's it.
Are they saving money?
I understand why they did it. So the first time they played the theme is when you see Nolan North.
Like a trademark, right? Like James Bond has a theme, right?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah. Maybe.
So you hear it when you see Nolan North in a sort of like a calypso-y type beach music type version. The second time they they play it is when he puts on the shoulder like gun strap thing, and I guess he fully becomes Nathan Drake. I guess that was when they decided to play a theme, and then the last one was during the credits.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. The music was done by the guy who did Game of Thrones. What's his name? And Westworld.
Oh, yeah.
Dwali. Oh, that's why it's not right, is it?
Canceled now.
Ramen Djawadi. Yeah. Ramen Djawadi. I did not like the score. Which is,
I mean, I think everybody's favorite music from him are usually covers, right? Like the Westworld stuff, like A Forest and whatnot.
His music for Game of Thrones was very good too.
Yeah, it was kind of iconic. I loved it. I actually really loved the Westworld theme he composed.
Yeah, that was actually like even the incidental score in Westworld is actually very good. But the music in this it didn't feel right. They should have just got like Greg Edmondson, who does movie scores and has done the music for Uncharted. To do Uncharted. I don't understand. Maybe they were just like, we need the new Hotness for music, and it's him.
It's so weird. I mean, because there was this whole cast of story writers and composers and actors involved in making like the Uncharted games like the hit that they were, right? And they can't tap into that flavor when they bring it actually to the big screen.
Every one of those people would say Amy Hennig. It was Amy Hennig. She wrote it. She produced it. She did all this.
But she only did the first two, right?
I think she started the third and then left. And then she went to go do Star Wars 1313. And then that fell through.
It wasn't 1313. She did the other thing. She did anyway.
And then whatever she's working on now is like insanely huge, right?
Yeah. Because
she's still amazing at what she does. And I don't know. Like,
the composer of Uncharted. The composer of Uncharted 4 was Henry Jackman. The last thing he did was The Falcon and Winter Soldier. He could have done it. Like,
I don't think that show had particularly good music.
I thought it was pretty good. It felt in tune with the
theme.
With the theme, right? He also did The Golden Circle, Kingsman, the Jumanji movies, The Predator, which was actually pretty good. I like the music in that movie.
The Predator?
The Predator or Predators?
Predators.
The Predator. The Predator.
The Predator was not good.
No, the music was good. The movie was bad.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
The horribleness of the movie distracted me from the music.
Shane Black generally has good music in his movies, but no one can pay attention because the movies are bad.
Shane Black's movies are known for their music. They're known for their dialogue.
No, sometimes.
He's also only directed like 4 movies.
Yeah. Has he? It's only been 4? Oh.
Well, yeah, because he didn't direct like Lethal Weapon and The Last Boy Scout, right?
True.
Richard Donner did Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. And I don't remember who did The Last Boy Scout. I don't think it was Richard Donner, though.
Anyway, that's Uncharted. I didn't like it. I know a bunch of people that enjoyed it. I thought it was... I didn't need to go to theaters.
It's one of those movies that's like certified fine.
It's fine.
You just put a big stamp on it. That's great.
Will I buy it? The biggest question is, will I buy it on Blu-ray? I will buy it on sale.
I bought the Green Lantern, the Ryan Reynolds movie, because it came with a skin for Batman Arkham City, I think.
Yep.
That's the only reason. So, like, there are movies I will buy that are bad.
That's fair.
Or okay.
And you know what?
As long as you're proproperly incentivized.
I would buy this one if it came with like a cool figure or something, right? like one of these.
You're like, I'm going to spend $30 on a piece of plastic this big, and then because it comes with this thing that technically costs.
Like $30. I'm holding out on buying the Dune Blu-ray because when Dune 2 comes out, I want to get a set of them together. Like, I really want to get Dune.
Plus, what if the sequel was terrible and you're like, well, now I can't watch it?
Oh,
I don't think it'll happen.
I've never seen...
Denis Villeneuve's never done a sequel.
He's also never done a bad movie. Yeah, let's find out.
That's true.
Any other thoughts about Uncharted? Any other questions about Uncharted? Do you guys have any questions for me about Uncharted?
One thing.
The D-box seats were not worth it. If that was your question,
that wasn't my question.
Yeah, but I went. But I got.
Oh, you got upgraded.
I got upgraded to the D-box.
Okay.
Has it made enough money at the box office to warrant any sort of consideration for a sequel?
Yes, Uncharted has been the top movie for the past month. But that being said, it is a slow month. They've said is that
It's
February
also a
has been slow.
short month, right?
That's true.
But there's nothing coming out. Well, no, Batman's
Batman's going to destroy it.
Batman is the only thing that's gonna knock
There's
it off.
probably a reason they put Uncharted out in between Spider-Man and Batman, dude, because they knew it's like, well, this is our only shot for this movie to make any money.
That's fair. And after the hype of Spider-Man, right?
Batman, this could be the worst Batman movie ever. I bet it's not. It looks real good, but it's going to make $1 billion.
I'll let you know when I see it. I'm going to go see it this week.
I don't want to go outside.
I understand, but I want to see Batman. And
This is the one you risk it.
And I hope
do whatever you gotta do. Wear a hazmat suit.
Here's the thing. I wear 2 masks, right?
Yeah.
It's a 3.5 hour movie.
3 hour.
No.
3 hours. Just
No,
3.
it's not 3.5.
Right,
Jesus.
but I have to skip all the commercials and stuff before and the trailers and everything.
That's
and then
true.
Just sit through that.
3.5 hours. It's like, who directed it? Ken Burns.
Brent is asking me if at the end of Uncharted, if it becomes charted. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. It is not. It is still Uncharted by the end of it. Sort of.
He could be in this call right now.
Brent is like, he can't talk. He got dental work.
Oh,
so,
that's right. Yeah.
So
he could use a robot voice.
I don't think we want him to. I want him to go to bed. He needs to get some sleep and heal. That's what you need to do, Brent. But I like that you're here chatting with us.
But pop a couple more perks before you.
Yeah, get a couple more of those T3s in you.
Just a little to take the edge off.
All right, let's.
This podcast doesn't endure abusing drugs, right?
No, I don't think so. No. Let's go to the games. Let's start with Lost Ark. Dave, let us know about this video game that came out originally in, God knows, 2019.
Lost
I think
Ark is an isometric 2.5D fantasy MMORPG, which is a lot of things to say. That it plays like Diablo. Which I'll get to that, what it actually plays like, but is in like the shell of a Warcraft game. World of Warcraft. It's got guilds, it's got all the stuff you expect from an MMO, but when you click around, it's like Diablo, right? It's isometric. It's not behind the camera. It's not that. The funny thing is, it is a third person camera, but there's a difference between how we do. So it's it's on an angle. It's not behind the character like the newer Resident Evils and stuff. It's co-developed by Tripod Studios and Smilegate RPG, which is a division of Smilegate. I don't know why they need a different. Anyway, it was originally released in South Korea in 2019, and it's now just come to North America, South America, Europe. That came out on February 11th. It's being published by Amazon Games, so it's got that quality big box brand seal of approval. Just like, what was the one that came out that everybody stopped playing immediately?
What was it called? New World.
Oh, that's
New
it.
World.
New Ark, Lost World, Lost Ark, New World.
That already.
New World.
Amazingly, within 24 hours of release, it became the second most played game on Steam of all time.
That's crazy.
In concurrent player count. People have really been anticipating this game, and I don't know why. Because with the VPN, you could have been playing on the Russian, well, I guess not now, or on the
Korean,
the Korean servers. Yeah. And I know somebody who played it for like 2 years on VPN, and he's like obsessed with it. The game seems like a great idea because you're like, ooh, that sounds great. Like, because Diablo is very popular, MMOs are very World of Warcraft's very popular. Get all that stuff together. If only that's how it played. Do you just want me to read what I wrote, Eric?
Yes.
Yeah, just keep going, and I will pop.
Okay.
Hawk, if you have any questions during any of this, just pop in, just jump in at any time, because I will also help and answer.
Okay.
Actually, I just have to let my dogs out.
Do it. I will.
Lost Ark has everything you expect from a modern MMO. It's got guilds, harvesting, and crafting, strongholds. I played 15 hours of this game.
I played an hour and a half.
An hour. Yeah. My brother Harcraft only made it 44 minutes. In that time, I did not finish the main story, which could be a good thing to some people because it's got a long story if it interests you. Did not interest me at all. In fact, the people who I've known who've been playing this game for 2 years told me to get through it as quickly as possible.
Hey, Steve's coming here. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, Wild Steve has appeared. Dun, 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 dun.
Wow, I am honored by the Intro music. That's good.
Steve, when was the last time you were on a podcast?
2016.
2016.
That's
That's
the
not
last
true.
time.
That's not true because I started on this podcast in 2019.
Yeah, but time flows differently where I'm at.
Oh, you're in inverted time, like in Tenet.
Well, this is the reason why I don't believe in camps.
I still haven't seen Tenet.
Actually, I liked it, Eric. I liked it. Now that I sort of understand how it works, it gave me a lot of ideas for D&D, actually.
And you know, I will also second that, which is weird. So yeah, I also liked it, Eric. So take that how you will.
I don't even have your social in the setup.
What's social? Steve's not social.
Yeah, I normally would have like at least a name or something, right? That's
It's
how
fine.
That's how long it's been.
Yeah, no, you've done a lot of work on the layout since, and I still don't have a working cam, so it's hilarious. Sorry guys, I completely passed out. And,
No worries, man.
But good to see you.
Good seeing you.
What a great intro. Just like fucking come in like Kramer.
I forgot that you know how to walk. So now you're on the stream as a little cat eye.
That's fine.
Is that I've been wondering what that is for like 3 years.
Are you serious?
Is it the Cheshire Cat?
No, it's Professor Genki from Saints Row 3.
I've never played a Saints Row game.
I did not know what that was from either, to be honest.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's like this ridiculous like Japanese death game show that you can take part in. And there's like this anime mascot character who's like Professor Genki, and it's just ridiculous. It's just it looks like whatever. I really dug that game 5 years ago, and I just thought the cat was sort of creepy and would make a good icon. So
I really like that the podcast was like we were getting the train going, and then another train from no tracks just came in and derailed it from the side. It's great.
I told Steve that we were talking about Lost Ark. I was like, just come on and talk about it. Steve's played more than most of us, I think, maybe. How long have you played
Possibly.
Lost Ark for?
30 hours about.
You're at
So
50.
twice what I played.
Yeah, so Dave was saying that he gave the rundown about the isometric play and
Cool.
It's an MMO.
It's
ARPG.
And you were just talking about the gameplay right now, though, right? Or the controls?
Okay.
I can't remember.
So the game, it's presented through mostly the story. I was actually getting to the story. So the story is presented through, on your first playthrough, mostly unskippable cutscenes, which, to their credit, are all fully voiced.
I'm gonna jump in here because I played an hour and a bit of this game, and I had no idea what was going on from that hour in the story.
And I will
That's
explain why now, which is not a good excuse, but your character is like a special hero, sort of like Dragon Age Origins, where it's like, oh, you're going to be special because you're the last of something or whatever.
Oh, like a Tarnish or a Guardian.
But here's the problem. Since in this version of the game, you don't get to play your class origin because they got rid of that for the Western release. You just show up, you're level 1, I think, but you already have your specialty. Like it's sort of you pick. There's a bunch of classes that I can run down.
Like I had like 4 or 5 specials, like just off the get go when I made my bard.
So like if you pick a class, then you get a subclass. You have to pick a subclass. And normally you would play through like your intro thing and then pick your subclass at the end. It's like, oh, you're a warrior. This is how warriors play. And then do all the stuff. The game just goes, here's your stuff. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Go play the game. And then you start the story. So you don't feel any ties to your character or the world, even if you're paying attention to the story. I know a lot of people like are interested in this stuff, but it just throws you in.
Yeah, I agree.
And then spends all of its time trying to tell you how the different systems in the game work. So, in my game, when I played it, I think the most time I spent in the game was trying to figure out why I couldn't make my character a male instead of a female. So
there was the longest time I was just sitting there, it's like, what the fuck is going on?
The mage class,
gender locked. It's all gender
the
locked.
mage class, the subclasses are bard and sorceress, which apparently means you can only be a woman.
Yeah. The gunner class, the gunner main class has 4 subclasses. One is female exclusive, the other are male exclusive.
And one isn't one a Dante class?
Yes. So I made a I think they're called Deadeye.
Yeah.
And it's basically
Dead
Dante
Ice.
from Devil May Cry. In fact, I literally just changed my hair type, and the default settings already look like Dante.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
There's a lot of stuff in this game that's just lifted, which isn't a bad like good.
One of the
artists-
characters looks like Ryu, exactly like him.
I mean,
the fighter.
Yeah.
Like,
If
you play
the male
music in the
martial
game.
artist,
Some of the music is very clearly from Zelda, like just straight up from Zelda. Which like it's not a bad thing. Like this game wears its influence. I wouldn't even call them influences, but like you know the line, like the phrase that a good artist steals a good artist borrows, a great artist steals.
Yeah.
And that's basically what this game is. They tried to steal, like, we're going to steal the gameplay of Diablo 3. We're going to steal, the guild systems and stuff from whatever MMOs. We're going to bring in all these characters from whatever. Even there's something, there's NPCs in the game that you meet. And in the midst of just hitting G constantly, because that's the button to forward everything, is just sitting here hitting G for 15 hours, which is basically what I did.
Yep. Hit G to go. Hit G to
complete your quest, pick up the quest. There's these NPCs where you can build rapport with. Well, that sounds actually like a unique thing. Well, Dragon Age has that, right? Dragon Age Origins, you can build up your approval, I think it is, and then you can romance certain characters, or you become friends, and that actually. In Dragon Age, it has the higher your approval, the better you get like bonuses from these characters. I don't know how it works in this game, but there's like items locked behind it. But all you do to build your rapport is give them stuff. You just throw items gifts at these people, and it builds your rapport. So it's like it's a grindy game. But after 15 hours, where I hadn't beat the story, I hadn't leveled my character up all the way, which is fine. Like that's normal. I wasn't like as far as I can tell. This is not a video game where you fight monsters like Diablo. Diablo's gameplay loop is you go out and kill monsters and you get loot and you level up. You get experience from that. This game does not reward you for killing the bad guys because you don't get you get almost no experience for going out and just fighting mobs. You get experience from hitting G, talking to players or to NPCs. Most of the quests I've done are talk to an NPC, go talk to another NPC, bring the item you got from that NPC back to that other NPC and hit G. Sometimes they're in the same city, which I have complaints about because in an MMO, so in Diablo, like there's the size of the map and the size of the map is the size of the map because you're only going to have maybe 8 players in it. In this game, because you can have 100 players in a hub area because it's an MMO, it's much larger. So I'm literally just walking from place to place, hitting G, leveling up.
Yeah.
Damn, I came back and Hawk walked away. Ouch.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Damn.
So the story is supposed to be you and the other heroes. Because it's not just you. Like in Diablo, you're the Nephilim and there's only you. In this game, it's supposed to be you. They say in the trailer, you and the other heroes, basically. You need to find the 5 Lost Arks to stop the Demon Lord guy and save the world. The problem I have with that is you basically can't play the game together, at least to start. At least in the 15 hours I played.
Didn't we play together for a bit?
In Diablo, it's a totally co-op experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Eric jumps in my game, we go do some quests, we play through the game, we get loot, we just keep grinding, we finish that difficulty, we go to the next difficulty, we play it again, go do some rifts or whatever. That's how Diablo works.
Yeah,
that's how Diablo's worked for a long time. Pretty good system. Path of Exile basically just ripped it off, and it works really well. Games like WoW and the Old Republic, which are MMOs, I'm pretty familiar with the Old Republic because I played it quite a bit. They let you play your character story with other players. So if Hawk comes in and I'm playing a Jedi Knight in that game, and Eric's playing a soldier, and I'm playing a consular or whatever, we can all go play. We can watch my character story all together, and we can play the bigger story of the world together, which is one of the cool selling things about that game. Fortunately, it still plays like an MMO. This game goes, oh, you want to play with your friends? No.
Oh, okay.
So I can't, unlike other MMOs, I can't share quests with my friends, even though we're at the same level in the same area, working on the same stuff. That's a little weird.
Can I tell you about
not a huge problem?
New World does the exact same thing, and it's terrible.
You can't complete quests together in most, unless it's killing a monster. It doesn't count. If it's go touch that button, it doesn't count if Eric does it. Like in Diablo, if I go and talk to someone and we have the same quest, it'll complete. This game does not do that.
Yeah, no, okay, actually, I just want to jump in here. Yeah, no, everything David has said is extremely on point, and I wouldn't change anything. This is true. You cannot officially play together. It is strange. It is weird though, because if you happen to all have your own quests aligned, like this is something you'd have to do manually, right?
Which we did. Eric and I did that.
Sometimes some things count, and
Yes.
other times they don't.
I had to
So it's
redo.
not-
Yeah,
it's
exactly. I had to redo one of those missions.
As far as I can tell, it's just killing mobs. If it's like kill 6 bandits, it'll be the 6 bandits. But if it's like a mission I did with my friend Vintage, it was, I kid you not, kill the bandits and then burn their supplies, which makes no sense because you've already killed the bandits, just take their supplies.
Yeah.
Right. So you burn the supplies. He killed the bandits. I didn't have to do that part. He burned the supplies. We have to do that separately.
Yeah.
We're in the same party. We're in
Yes.
the same like they call them channels. We're in the same instance.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
Yeah.
But if I go play Star Wars or World of Warcraft, that stuff counts as a party.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's weird, and I don't know the history of the development cycle of this game, and I agree with everything that David said, that this is a game that takes liberally from a lot of sources, and I will say it does those things well, because you can steal things from a lot of other games and totally fuck it up. But this game does it to a very nice degree, but it ends up sort of having a very weird identity because it's tons of stuff that's mashed together and it's kind of familiar. But anyway, sorry. I don't want to break your stride, David. Keep going.
That's okay. So the weirdest thing I find is that it literally will disband your party for certain quests.
Yeah,
where like Eric and I were playing together, and then there's a part where it's like, oh, literally just fight 5 bad guys. It takes 30 seconds. And then go down a slide. It's a slide.
Yeah, I
and
remember
it
that.
separated us, and then I think we actually stayed in party after.
Yeah, and I had to redo it.
That's luck, though.
But I had to rejoin his channel after. So it separated our instances. And then I know playing with Vintage, there's certain dungeons you do. I think they call
those
them
are
dungeons.
shared. Yeah,
some are shared, but there's some that are story based that it will separate you, and you have to do them alone.
This is making you want to play this for Hawk, right?
Right.
So here's the thing. I was gonna bring up something. The Star Wars: The Old Republic, I think its second expansion, did this where they went. It's an MMO. You've played this whole game with your friends. You can play the entire game together. Here's a storyline that works for either side, but you have to play it by yourself. And the community went, "Are you insane? This is an MMO. What are you talking? We play this game as a group."
Mm-hmm.
And they go, "Well, it's like, no. This is a group play game. Why would you make me play it by myself?"
Yeah,
it completely detracts. Like, imagine if you did a strike in Destiny, but you have to do it.
No,
by yourself.
they do that, and I fucking hated it. Like
Destiny too.
Yeah, like we would play the whole game together, and then ever so often it'd be like a mission where you'd be like, "You have to do this by yourself." I'm like, "Why? Why do I have to do this by myself?" And I hated
Everything
it.
should be optional to do alone, but nothing should ever be. That's the point of playing games with friends.
Yeah. So I just want to jump in here, and like Eric said, I mean, especially in Destiny where you're playing together, it's designed that way, and then suddenly you get like separated. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make any sense. I feel like that this game, I don't know that it was ever really meant to be like a proper co-op, and the reason I say this is because all this stuff that you're talking about is still the tutorial phase, which sucks. Like that was the thing I was going to say.
I've been playing 15 hours.
I've been playing 30. Okay, so I had one thing I was going to say about Lost Ark. So here's your patented Steve style podcast, and then I'll go away for 2 months. So you guys remember like Robot Chicken, right? And they did that Star Wars, thing, and they had that whole gag where like the Emperor like lands at a Death Star, and like his day just gets worse and worse. Like he loses his luggage and just can't figure out where to go. And so at the very end of it, he's like sitting in his space chair. And he's like, "Oh my God, this is bolted to the ground. Why would they build a thing like this?" And then there's like an air vent like right above him, and it's like blowing straight down. And he's like, "Okay, you there? Use your staff of raw and try to like shut that, right?" And then it basically explodes on him and just starts shooting air like really really hard. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is he goes, "Could this day get any worse?" And then he like puts his arms up and he says, "I said that ironically, so I think we're okay." And then it cuts to him like falling in 2 pieces at the bottom of the reactor. Anyway, so I've been making the ironic, could this get any worse jokes ever since that. And the last time I did it was I said, well, Mortal Kombat 2021 could not possibly be
Brent's
worse than
favorite
Mortal
movie of
Kombat
the year.
Annihilation. I know.
It's not his favorite movie, but we like to bug him about it.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not bugging him specifically about it. I'm just saying, from my own personal experience, I made that ironic, shoulder thing. I said, "There's no way Mortal Kombat 2021 could be worse than Mortal Kombat Annihilation." And so now I've been, oh no,
Oh!
I summoned him.
Uh-oh.
He heard you
So-
talking about Mortal Kombat
Oh.
and decided to defend himself.
So the one thing I was going to say about
I got
art,
ears, man.
look,
I got
I'm not-
ears, man.
I'm not talking about Mortal Kombat. I'm talking about me making ironic statements. So when I started playing Lost Ark, I was like, there's no way the tutorial could be longer than, what was that Final Fantasy game that had like a 10-hour tutorial? I think
Final
it was
Fantasy 15.
15,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy,
yeah.
every Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
true. That's not true. I'm playing
But-
Final Fantasy 1 right now. There is no tutorial.
But 15 is infamous because it does literally put you through a 10-hour tutorial system to learn the combat, right? My perspective on Lost Ark is it's a 40 to 50 hour tutorial. It's not actually meant to be a co-op game because the end game, like what Dave's been discussing is like, what is the game?
I haven't even got to the part where like I never got to the game.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not there yet. I can start it. I'm kind of able to see it, and I have a couple friends who really, really dig this type of game. But it's not Diablo. It's closer to Path of Exile. And even then, Path of Exile might have a more compelling like single or co-op element. That's not as vital to Lost Ark. Lost Ark is, I don't know what it is up until the end game, but the end game is where you have this really expansive system of power, skills, and you get to really craft like a kick-ass character that is meant to take on like really tough dungeons.
That sounds terrible.
Well,
It's
there's a
not
certain
it's
type
not
of
worth
person.
50 hours.
Yeah.
It's not worth 50 hours.
There's some people who really, really like this type of like highly sophisticated, like pattern of what?
Well, Hawk said. Well, no, you say it, Hawk. You
Say
said
it,
you
it's
wrote
your
in the chat.
words.
This is the part of the show where we air out grievances.
It's the
I got a-
Festivus of podcasts.
I got a lot of problems with you people, and you're all gonna hear about them.
But that's what the game is. It's a really complex character builder, which allows you to build these really interesting builds that allow you to like buff your teammates, and it's also a very proactive game. Like unlike say like WoW, like when we're talking about classes, there's no like healer class per se that will cancel out like damage. You have to always be putting in positive things ahead of time, anticipating movement. Everything in the game is also very fair in terms of damage. Like the game punishes you if you don't play perfectly, and you have to be proactive with all your abilities. So it's a different kind of challenge, right?
But
like it's not
Steve.
Yeah.
What for like a person like myself? What would keep me in the game long enough to get to that point? Like, is there?
I can't say.
Yeah.
I
That's
can't
the
say.
thing. So it's such a weird. So first of all, to call it an MMO is kind of a disservice
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it shouldn't be an MMO. It just shouldn't have that part to it. It's something that's trying to convince people to get into it, and I think that's what a lot of this is. This game to me feels like a bait and switch, where there's this really cool complex game at the end of the tunnel. Like, and I would actually I would compare this to Crusader Kings. Because I've been playing a lot of Crusader Kings, and after 300 hours, I finally feel fairly proficient in the game. The difference is you can start playing Crusader Kings and not be proficient and still have
Yeah,
fun.
you'll still enjoy it. Yeah.
You'll still have fun. And here's the thing, you can play with your friends. You can play with 100 of your friends in Crusader Kings if you want.
Wow.
You know what you can't do in this game? You can't play with 2 of your friends.
Yeah, it's weird. The co-op is weird.
This game, you can't play with 2.
I don't really understand like what its purpose is, but I feel like that's probably a difference between foreign, like I don't know, maybe in Korea they build games that way, like that's one of those things where I can't hold it too much against it because we expect certain levels of co-op to really enjoy ourselves, and this is not it. It's only at the end game when you're making the super powerful characters, then you need parties which are designed to work together to take on increasingly more difficult challenges.
So
I would love to see what Richard has also played this game for like 50 plus hours.
A lot.
Yeah, so he's got an end game character then. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder because I don't know.
Well,
I couldn't after that first hour. It's just like there's
No, I don't
nothing
blame
for
you.
me to want to come back and play this game.
No,
Like,
I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all. I'm just gonna say I have 2 friends who, for whatever reason, they really dig it. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna wait until I get to the end game. It's not totally my kind of game, but I'm willing, because they're willing to push me to get to that point. So I'll stream something for you guys later, and I can give you a better opinion when I reach it. But yeah, I shot myself in the foot when I made that Final Fantasy joke because holy crap, I don't know when I'm going to get to the end. I'm getting there. They're forcing me. Sorry,
so
I apologize, Eric. I didn't know that was going to happen. When
That's
I
okay.
did
That's
that.
okay, man. That's okay.
I'm literally taking marketing classes right now as a part of my program. And what I wonder is, what is this game trying? So when you market something, you're trying to fill a need, right? And the whole point is like when people have money, basically, and you turn needs into wants. What the fuck? How are they trying to market this game? What is their long-term strategy for making money on this game? Or is it actually just, well, people will buy a bunch of stuff, like they'll buy packs, and then after 20 hours, they go, why the fuck am I still just hitting G? I'm not playing the game. Like, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
For 15 hours, I had fun doing 2 dungeons with my friend, and I went, why don't we just play? Like, I don't want to install the Blizzard launcher, but I went, and he was the one who was like, I don't know, I really like this game. Dave, you're being real negative. And I was being super hard on it. And then he flipped around. He's like, no, this game's shit. I'm done with it. Like, this is terrible.
No, that was
he
awesome.
put like 30 hours into it.
I feel like I was like your brother.
No, that was vintage.
No, man, I feel like I played the game like your brother did. We're just sitting there like, I don't see a point at this game.
The thing, so there's so many different things. Like, I wonder, okay, if the goal is to get people to play for 50 hours, if you play the game for 50 hours, yeah, you'll probably play for more. At what point does that person invest money? And at what point does Amazon make money? Because that's what this is, right? This is to make the money. This wasn't Amazon going, let's give you a really fun game to play, guys. No, they want to make money.
Here's the thing. So, like I was saying, I have 2 friends who are really into it. And one of them is like huge in the Path of Exile. Okay. Like that was his jam. He's already spent money on it because he knew how much he enjoyed it. So I do think it's the.
What do you spend money on in this game? What do you buy?
You can
There's
buy
a premium pass and stuff like that.
You can bring stuff that will like generate faster leveling and some like efficiencies in the game. There's very minor things, but there's a lot of things that can like it basically speed up your end game journey with multiple characters. Because think about this, you got to level up each guy to end game, right? So you guys are just playing one character for an hour. Can you imagine, right? Doing it for 6 characters.
This reminds me of Destiny. Like, there was a point when I used to play all 3 classes, and then I got to a point where me and Hawk were playing, and I was like, this grind is just not worth it anymore. Like, we played Destiny 2 the longest out of anyone I can think of.
The thing, is there like a pass for that as well? Like where you're online, there's like, you know, like you can buy like
so it went free either a year or 2 ago, and then they started doing the season passes where you can get stuff as the season goes on. So that's what they've been doing for money, and you know, that's good for whatever it takes. I just can't do that grind. It just doesn't seem like it's worth it, my time anymore. I just don't want to.
Especially when you don't have like a good core group of people that you're playing with in that, then you're locked out of like some of the best stuff. We had a good
core. It was just me and
we
you.
Did. Yes, it was us. And that, you know, that does not make up like a raid party in that.
Yeah.
That's not even a strike team.
No, we needed one more.
No.
We needed a Titan. That's the one we needed. A Titan.
We needed a Titan.
That was me in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
I was the Titan in Destiny,
I can't even remember what Steve played. I think he was a
Warlock.
Warlock?
Pretty sure he was a Warlock.
Yeah, space magic, my friend.
No, I was a hunter or Titan.
I was hunter from the beginning.
I was the worst Warlock. I couldn't
aim your Nova bombs.
I couldn't aim crap as a Warlock, so no. So okay, so we have Brent here, and I think he wants to defend
Lost Ark,
Lost Ark, or
Mortal Kombat.
I could give 2 shits about Lost Ark or the Mortal Kombat movie. I'm here because I waited 3 goddamn years for Elden Ring, and if you think I'm staying fucking quiet when we talk,
all right, wait. Let's start with the Hawk. Hawk, wait? Anyone have any final things about Lost Ark? I'm not playing this game. I installed it.
I want to say one thing real quick. It's about game design.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the activity you're rewarded for in a game, that is the gameplay loop.
Yeah.
You play Dungeons and Dragons, killing monsters gets you XP, level up your character, that's the reward. In Lost Ark, for the first 15 hours, the gameplay loop was hitting G.
Yep.
Presumably for the next 15 to 20 more hours, it's going to be hitting G. If you can get through that, whatever the gameplay loop is after that, if you like that part and you can stand those first 30 hours of, and I mean, like, I'm not just like, I'm not listening to everything they're saying. I'm trying to speed run the fucking game.
Yes.
If you can get through that and that's what you're interested in, go play that. Otherwise, if you want a game like this, genuinely go play Path of Exile.
It was not worth it for me. No.
Yeah, that's very fair. I agree with you. I will say that even in the first 10 hours, when you get around that
10
area,
hours.
you actually do get to. Okay, what David was saying is very relevant about how they skipped the class creation part. I don't know if that would have helped because it would have extended the game even more.
It would have given me some story, which might have made me interested.
I think it might have provided a little bit more understanding of what you were doing with the powers. Because when you just sort of start with powers and you're just kind of mucking around them, it's like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. It's nice to have. But you actually do gain the ability to adjust your power builds, and this is where the real game comes in. Is like there's a lot of ways you can manipulate your abilities. You can have totally different abilities. You can adjust.
Right, but none of that is gameplay loop.
No. But my point is
how far do you have to go in the game before you do that?
You guys may have already unlocked a little bit of it and didn't realize it. Okay.
No, I'm getting like daily things that are like, this is going to affect that, but I have to collect 20 of them before I get to level 1 of it.
No. There's still already like skill points and things which unlock. Like this is the thing.
I'm not talking about skill points. It's a different thing I get every day when I log in.
Oh, okay. Well, regardless,
it's like an aura or something like that.
I can't speak to the end game loop because I'm not there. But if you like Path of Exile and its intense web of stat construction and combo creation and that type of stuff really turns you on. Like I don't know what to call that, okay? Because it's in a lot of games,
like class building,
but like really, really overly complex. I'll just say it, overly complex, and you just want to just get that awesome build, right? That's this type of game, but I can't speak to the end game loop, and I'll report back later. But yes, press G to win. Press G to win for the first 30 hours. That's what
that's
I call
how I gained all. I'm like level 25, and that's how I gained all but like 2 levels, was just pressing G.
Did Hawk freeze, or is he just very still? He's very still.
He's stoic.
I gotta be honest, like when I played Destiny 2, at least the last couple years, we did very, very minute class like builds, right? We would search for perfect gun with the perfect stats and then put the perfect mods on, do the same thing with all the armor and then the armor classes and then the super classes, and then now you can also augment the supers. So at least the last time me and Hawk were playing, we were doing pretty like intense builds and pretty like searching for the proper things and then getting them. And I feel like that grind was hard but worth it. And anything I played in Lost Ark just felt like
but with Lost Ark you get a lot more pieces, and it's not. In some respects it's grindy, in other respects it's not, because by the time you reach level, like let's say level 30 in the character, and the characters go to level 50, okay, there's a lot of things you can manipulate behind the scenes. Like there's a huge amount that you can, and they allow you to do free resets too. So the game is not super punishing. It asks you to experiment in certain tiers of development. So anyway,
but getting to that point in Destiny was fun.
It's sooner
getting
too.
to that point in Lost Ark, I can't, like I'm asking my friends, you guys are having fun? Like, yeah, I'm having fun. I'm like, what are you having fun in this game? You're not doing anything.
Like I said, this is a game for certain types of people. It's not for everybody.
Is this like I had a friend that played Diablo with spreadsheets. Is this a game for him?
Oh yeah. You need databases and spreadsheets for this game.
Okay, definitely not for me.
Absolutely. Well, that's why I keep saying Path of Exiles. I'm not sure. I didn't play it.
I never played it.
That my friends did, but you need spreadsheets for that game. So that's what I mean when I say Path of Exile.
This goes back to what I'm talking about, though. Like, how is that your market? How is that you're like, we need the most? Right, but that's not a lot of people.
It's enough because
it is a lot of people. Like it was the most played game on Steam.
The majority of us seem to not like this idea, but we've been talking about it for 38 minutes.
Let me
sure. That is fair.
Listen, I kept getting interrupted. I was trying to explain everything about this game, and I kept getting interrupted.
We are very passionate about how much we dislike this game. At least me.
No, look, I don't know whether I like it or not. I'm being honest.
It's funny because
we'll see when I get there.
I asked you like the first day it came out. I saw my whole Steam list playing it, and I was like, "Who am I gonna trust enough to be like, is this game good? And I messaged you, Steve, because I saw you playing for like 24 hours straight or something. It felt like that at least. Well, I went to bed, you were playing. Yeah. I woke up and you were playing. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe he's still.
What did I say?
You said, I don't know. I've been playing for like, I think you said 15 or 20 hours at the moment. You're like, I just don't know what this game is yet. And I was like,
ask me next week.
You're like, ask me later. I was like, okay.
Imagine Breaking Bad got good after season 3.
Okay. Look. Okay,
imagine it took that long for it to get interesting.
Okay. Just to reel it back in. It's not a game for everybody. But as a nice segue for Brent, I'm going to say this.
It's not a game to start.
No. Hold on. I think what I'm going to say is true. When Demon Souls first came out, I'm pretty sure there were a lot of people who said, "What the fuck is this game?" It is so utterly brutal, right? Mm-hmm. It's so brutal. Now, I'm not comparing this to that. I'm just comparing an aspect of Demon Souls. Demon Souls now, we appreciate the fairness of it, the difficulty of it, and people are up for that type of challenge.
So you're calling Lost Ark genre creating?
No, I'm calling it
genre. This is a genre bender.
No, I'm calling Lost Ark. It already exists in the form of Path of Exile and like top tier like Diablo 3 spreadsheet guys. Okay, like there is a market for these people. It's not for us. Okay, I don't think any of us right now are going to be like, yeah, that's my jam. But there are some people out there who really like that type of gameplay.
I feel like you're talking, but what you're trying to talk about is the difference between like, I'm just going to get a degree and like, I'm going to get a PhD because I want it. But
some people like that.
Yeah, some people are like that though.
They want to treat their games like academic.
I understand that they like that. What I don't understand is why you don't play that game. Why don't I understand that there is that gameplay loop later, right? But you don't get to do that to start. That's not how you're brought into the ecosystem. You're literally just pressing G.
Well, I agree. No, you're right. But I would also say... Go ahead, Brent.
I disagree with your comparison to... I understand what your comparison to Demon Souls is. Like, I get the point you're trying to make with that, but I disagree with it. Because I think what Demon Souls and what From Software did with those games was reintroduce an old style of game to a new audience and created a new audience. Whereas with Lost Ark, from what I'm hearing, is Lost Ark is about narrowing its audience and really fine tuning it down to a finite group of people.
Mm-hmm. It's intriguing because I would love to see the first people that played it and then see how why they decided to stay for that, because no one knew what that later loop was, right? I don't know how those first players would.
That's why I was saying I don't know the development history of this game, because I feel like it's similar to say Warframe, where they just kept adding crap and it just kept getting more and more convoluted. And at a certain point, it hit a very intense niche for a very specific group of people. But up until that point, it was just kind of expanding, and then they give the whole pile of stuff to us, and we're just like, what is going on here, so Brent, you're right. I'm just trying to say that for the very few people who like this kind of game, they're going to enjoy it, but it's not for everybody.
Those who like it will love it, those who don't won't.
And I mean, I think what David's saying is legitimate. How does this market? Because it's so hard. The
it's also not the same thing. It becomes a different thing, right?
Yeah. But at the same time, I'll say those people who love this stuff, they have very few options for this level of PhD style stat chasing, right? And that they do spend money on that type of thing.
How many players would Elden Ring push away if the first 20 hours was actually a first person shooter? Wow. You'd be like, this is not what? This is not.
You know what? You slap the From Software name on it. It doesn't matter. We will play it. We will come in droves. No. We won't give a shit.
Okay.
That sounds like a BioWare thing.
No, that's a good point, because that From Software has pedigree. These guys don't.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. But they have millions of players somehow. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think the better comparison I would make to it is the game that I just finished last week, Eterna Noctis, which is a game that is so brutally punishing in one specific genre that it's really a kind of game that everything I've seen, 99% of the people who play that game quit it. And it's a game that is like for a very specific type of person. If you're not into that specific type of gameplay and that specific difficulty, it's not for you. You're going to bail. So I can see a comparison to Lost Ark in that.
That's fair. I think that's totally, yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Shall we move on? Shall we move to Elden Ring?
To the number one most played game on Steam now, by the way.
Really? Because Elden Ring hasn't gotten a lot of PC issues, but they're trying to fix that. Hawk, give us our intro about Elden Ring.
We're the only ones on Twitch on my list right now that aren't listed as playing it.
So I'll start with a little preamble. Elden Ring was released on Friday after being first announced at E3 in 2019. The massive undertaking from Software was the brainchild of the godfather of Souls games, Hidetaka Miyazaki, and fantasy writer George R.R. Martin. Like all of Miyazaki's creations from Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 1 and 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, the challenge was to enhance the Souls formula, and this time the idea was to take this action RPG and expand the RPG element. So players now have the freedom of a gigantic map to explore however they choose. No longer does the game lock progress behind boss fights. The player is given the freedom to explore as they wish, and the map created by the game developers takes full advantage of it. Hidden in the landscape are numerous dungeons, encounters with bizarre creatures that you might not even really have to face in order to progress, but will probably want to take on the challenge because there's weapons and there's spells and there's storylines of NPCs that do not necessarily play any role in the main storyline, yet they kind of beg to be followed. It's even possible to skip certain boss fights in favor of more exploration of the environment, though if you do this, you better level up because the challenges from the enemies, they grow substantially in every new area.
Shit.
I want to say, that's funny.
Sold.
What I love about Miyazaki is that when he approached George R.R. Martin to write the story, or not write for this game, but to write for this game,
it was more of a collab, right?
Yeah, he made sure that George R.R. Martin only did certain things because
he let him create the overarching story, but then
the
said,
idea,
okay,
right?
now give that to me and let me do my Miyazaki.
He according to Miyazaki, he said Martin wrote text about the world's history, about its character and its mythology, and that's pretty much it.
Perfect.
So they didn't have to wait for him to write a story. They just let Miyazaki take that and be like, go. Make it better.
I'm glad that's true, because when I heard about that collab, I was like, I'd rather Miyazaki just had absolute world control. I don't really care for the lore stuff. So I'm really glad that he approached it that way.
I wish it would have been George R.R. Martin's Elden Ring, the same way everything that says Tom Clancy's at Ubisoft, but has fucking nothing to do with Tom, like Rainbow Six Extraction. That's what he imagined.
I wish they had just taken one of the unfinished Game of Thrones books and made that into the game just to piss those people off.
God. You see, that's the weird thing. This apparently, he's been billed as a collaboration, but even still, like the story ideas, I still see Miyazaki's influence coming through.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah,
I don't quite see where George R.R. Martin, other than the idea of the Elden Ring, maybe, but even that felt very Miyazaki-like.
Having played enough now to like kind of fully develop most of the map and a lot of the world and see what's going on, I can see his influences in it, because I can see some of the designs being his ideas, some of the story plot lines that are going on, I can see being part of his as well. But I think it's like a 20% Martin, 80% Hidetaka. Like
that's fair.
That's good though.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
Neat.
Did you? We talked. What do you guys? So the guys who played, it's me, Hawk, and Brent. Steve, have you played this game yet?
No, not yet.
The story starts off very mysterious, and then it slowly. At least I haven't played that much because of the game I'm going to be talking about, but it's slowly developing. And what I enjoy about this story so far is that it's keeping me intrigued without having to straight out do just the main missions, because I like exploring and then randomly finding stuff and then finding little bits of story. Whereas when I played Lost Ark, there was nothing that kept me in the story.
Isn't it interesting? Like two games that just kind of drop you into the world, and one of them's interesting and one of them isn't.
Look,
in terms of story.
Yeah.
Look, if you like hitting G, you play Lost Ark.
We're talking about story, Steve. We're talking about story.
Well,
what does it for me?
All I care about story.
What does it for me so much with the story with Elden Ring is that the game is so expansive and has such freedom that everybody who plays it has their own experience.
Mm-hmm.
No two people are playing the game the same way. They're not playing in the same order. They're not doing the same things. They're not using the same spells. Every time you play, and I think it's a game where I could play it 30 times, and every single time it's a unique experience. And that is a marvel that they were able to come up with that.
So
I watch all these people streaming it, and I don't feel like I'm getting spoilers because every single person, it's like they're playing a different game.
Because it's like the opposite of Skyrim, where everybody always ends up playing a stealth archer.
Yep.
Right. Like that's the thing about, because I was watching a friend of mine play it, and I was like, why are you using a two-handed sword in one hand and a shield in the other? I'm like, why is that a thing? Like, it's like, well, because there's benefits and drawbacks to that. And there's nothing in these games, like all the Souls games, like there's no perfect way to play them. They're so well balanced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And clearly Elden Ring is like probably the pinnacle of that.
Me and Hawk were playing the game at the same point, like hours wise in the game, and we were both totally different areas. And like, he was telling me about a cave that he was in. I was like, what cave? Where is this thing? And then I went over there, and I was like on a beach that he had not gone to and stuff like that. And it was just like, it's
weird because Eric told me about this helmet, and I haven't even found it yet. It's located on this beach, and that I ended up
maybe you
doing
won't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I ended up doing an NPC storyline, and that totally by accident. I found this cave. And I found this little creature. He was kind of like, have you ever seen the rat-like kind of looking characters in the game yet, Eric?
Oh, no? With the human faces? They look like fucking gremlins with human faces? Fuck those guys.
I know.
Those, and fuck the birds with the scissor legs.
Yep.
I found this one guy in a cave, and that he was, beaten to a pulp, and he was going on about his, how he just wanted to be like mom who liked to sew, and that, if only I had stayed home and been a sewer like me mom. I go and complete this dungeon. I ended up beating the boss in it and that. And for some reason, I got the treasure. I couldn't figure out what it was. It was a sewing needle. Went back to him and that. Gave him the sewing needle. And now apparently you can alter garments in the game that you start out with.
Yeah.
I
haven't even found that.
People could have just
over 24 hours in. I haven't found that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing. Like, I really like how the story is not shoehorning you in. Like, I love that.
I'm over 24 hours in the game. I have only done one story mission thus far. I've only completed the very first area that they tell you to go to.
I love it.
Where's that?
I love that.
I don't even know.
Just the castle. The opening castle.
Yeah.
That's the only main story mission I've done. Other than that, I'm just riding around on my horse going, what's that? What's that? What's that?
Yeah,
what's that?
When you were streaming it, right, Eric, you were like, they didn't tell me where to go.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do, and I liked it. And then I started following the light, and I was like, I don't want to do this, and I went, that was fine.
I suspect maybe some of the best level designers in the world worked on this game, because you're guided to things that are happening. It's not just that the world's populated with things to do, but clearly they're guiding you to things, and it's whatever catches your eye. Like some games, like they'll just add little touches. Like in Uncharted, like ledges that you can carry, that you can climb onto, will just have a little highlight, and you just instinctively start going towards them.
It's subtle.
That kind of the very subtle game design that you don't know you're being pushed towards something, and you guys all went in different directions because you're all different people.
Yeah,
and it's not because it pushed you into that direction; just you were drawn towards that.
It creates a huge curiosity in the player. One of the first things I did was get on the horse and go around and find all of the map segments that I could, so that I could just sit there and look at the map and zoom in and go, what's that little black spot? I wonder if that's something. And then you go and it turns out to be like a 45-minute cave system that you got to go through. And I'm like, holy shit.
I will say that, Dave, you said something to me really, something that stuck in my head the night I was streaming, like at midnight at 1:00. You're like, you're very tired, and I don't think you're thinking straight in this game because you are just sort of like randomly going around. I was like, you're probably right. Like when I'm awake, I feel like way more in it, but this is not a game I can play tired. Like it confuses me, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I just like, Like, oh,
despite
man.
it being like these games can be grindy, right? Where it's like, well, I can't beat that boss yet. I kind of go grind up. But there seems to be so much to do that you don't have to grind the same enemies over and over. You actually go grind other quests.
The fact that
makes it,
Brent.
It's the perfect game for new people to be introduced into this genre of games because there is no limitation to where you go. So if you're struggling with the main story, go somewhere else, check something else out, level up a little bit.
I love that.
Try it again.
There's a million caves to go explore, and that's the weird thing about it is that, like, you're not prompted to go in any particular direction. There's nothing even to highlight you to go that direction and that. But the thing with these games, but the thing with these games is that they always have these amazing vistas and environments and that, and this is, now you actually have the opportunity of I'm going to ride out to that vista I was looking at and that, there's a church. There's a church in the background and that. Let's just go explore that for absolutely no reason.
Let's talk about the graphics about that because it's very pretty. As I was saying to Dave when I was playing it the first time, and you were saying watching the stream, and Brent, I think we were talking at the same time when we were both streaming at that time, and we're like, "This is a gorgeous game," but there are some. I feel like there are some hindrances because it is still on the last generation.
It's still the last gen. Yeah.
It's still very much last gen.
You compare it to Blue Point's Demon Souls versus it feels more Dark Souls remastered than it did Blue Point's Demon Souls. But it doesn't take away from the beauty of it.
No.
If anything, like the functionality of it, the beauty is all there. It's just it could be cleaner.
This reminds me of Destiny 1, right? It was stuck on PS3 and PS4, and then when they cut off the PS3 and they totally went PS4, they totally decided to up all the graphics, and you're like, oh shit, this is what Destiny meant to be like. And I wonder if that's how Elden Ring is going to be when they either get the next one or the
it feels like they really, if they wanted to get up to Blue Point level and that, we wouldn't see this game until probably 2026.
Is Demon Souls
I don't know.
remake on PC?
No.
So
it was a
PS5
PS5 exclusive. Yeah, because they basically they designed that game, like that remake and that, to be played on a PS5 and that,
This game was designed for PS5 too, but they just made it PS4 compatible, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't fully utilize PS5 stuff.
No.
So you guys have actually answered a lot of questions I had. So it's nice to know that the marketing has been generally honest and that it is a world
100%.
that you can explore. You go where you look. You don't run into invisible walls.
You don't have to press G if you don't want to.
You don't have to press G if you don't want to, but you can press G if you do.
It's up to you if you press G.
And you might get
I'm on
to
PlayStation.
cool.
I don't have a G button.
Well,
You can connect the keyboard to your PlayStation 5.
I got a keyboard plugged into my PS4.
And yeah, because there was a lot of that's what they were selling, and I was a little bit oh boy, that's a tall order. So it's really good to hear that that's all kind of come together, and I love that. Now, my question is, how is it a co-op game, or how does the player interaction work?
This is where I was let down because I thought it was going to be not like Lost Ark, more co-op game.
I thought it was going to be more co-op too.
Please explain.
No, I've been doing co-op the last couple days. A buddy of mine got the game and was struggling in the early stages, so we did some co-op. It's a from soft co-op. It's confusing and clunky at best.
You answered my question then. I was wondering.
It's like Bloodborne.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's even worse because you will get together and then you will he won't know where to go, so I'll be like, okay, let's go check out some cave systems. I know a few places we can go, and I'll guide him to there. But then when we get there, I can't get in because it's considered a new area, so I have to quit the co-op, go back into my own game, travel to that location, re-put my sign down, have him re-summon me into his game.
No. And it takes
as soon
resources.
as we finish that area. Then we'll go through the area. We'll beat the boss, and then I get kicked out, and we have to go somewhere else and get resummoned back in. So it's not meant to be co-op together. It's not meant to be fully multiplayer. It's meant to be hey, I'm struggling in this area. Could you help me out?
So I compared it to, because I'd never bothered playing Far Cry 4 because Far Cry 3 I loved, and Far Cry 3 had co-op, and I was like, oh, that's cool, Far Cry game with co-op. But the problem with it was, if you jumped into someone's game, you didn't get any progression.
Yeah. I hated that.
And you could technically, like, there was experience points that you, like, that stuff that you would level up. But like, if you beat the game with someone's help, it didn't count for you.
Yeah.
Far Cry 5 did that, which was awesome, but Far Cry 4 didn't. And none of the Souls games have that technically, where it's like you can go and help someone. And but I don't think the boss. Battle. Yeah, like does it even count as you clearing an area?
No, it doesn't count as you clearing it, but you get separate rewards for it,
right,
though.
Right.
Like the person whose game it actually is will get like one set of rewards for beating the boss, but then you as the partner will get a completely different set.
So then you could, in theory, then you could go back into the other person's game and just do that area again, and then that person, right? That's what I mean. It's like, oh, it's. Close.
I would
so
love
close.
to explore that world with like one of you guys. Like that would be fun, just to dick around on a horse and just.
I mean, that's like
you can't do horses in multiplayer,
online, right?
You can't do horses in multiplayer.
No, they don't let you. They don't let you ride. They don't let you ride torrent in multiplayer.
So it really is to try to bring someone in to deal with a very specific thing, not to explore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it's not meant to be a co-op game. It's meant to just be like, hey man, just help me out. This guy's kicking my ass. Like,
okay, that's good to know.
Maybe they'll, because I know a lot of people wanted to play together, and I for some odd reason I had the impression that we could play the whole game together.
Yes, I got that impression of the marketing too. So I think they were a little bit vague on that one. So
I think that was something people were like hoping for, and everybody just kind of said it, and then the marketing team never said no, that's not the case.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
just promised it.
Yeah,
it's always just been kind of known amongst FromSoft fans though that like their focus for online is PvP. It's not co-op.
Yeah.
They want people getting in and fighting each other.
I think
that's
it's
what it's designed
because
for.
other games have done it. Like Neo 2 is like fully co-op. Right?
Yeah, Neo 2 is like fully like you run the whole game together.
And these are Souls-esque games, right?
Yes.
But I would say like I'm glad to hear it at the same time because I felt like that would be such a huge departure from any other games that they'd already done that I would be concerned that the map and the ingenuity would get harmed by them forcing like a co-op structure into it. So I'm fine with that. I think anyone who's a FromSoft fan, they're going to accept this. It's just too bad because we'd all love to play all those games together, but that's not the focus.
That's probably like I'm thinking I'm going to pick up Demon Souls for PS3 because I still have a PS3. And I remember when that game came out, I was working at HMV and I was like, this game looks good, but Namco Bandai, why would I buy a video game from a toy company? Not realizing, when I was 19 that, Nintendo was originally a toy company.
A card company.
A card company.
Yeah, card game company.
So I kind of want to go back and play it on PS3 rather than, because I don't have a PS5 and I'm not going to, obviously it's not out on PC. And I don't want to get Elden Ring on PC because I only have a 1060. So I just feel like if I should go back and like if I like that, then I'll probably play through everything except for Bloodborne because I don't like the aesthetics.
If I could make a suggestion, I would suggest doing Dark Souls and not Demon Souls. If you really want to get a good idea of what FromSoft games are like, Demon Souls was there. We're still trying to figure this shit out. Dark Souls was there. We got it.
The thing is, I feel like I could get Demon Souls for like $1 on the PS.
Yeah, and like Demon Souls is still much. Demon Souls is still a much more unique experience than the Dark Souls games in that, basically like, that whole world tendency thing was like, it was kind of a confusing, but it was an interesting system in that because like you'd in each individual world in that you'd have to do these things that kind of push your tendency to pure white or pure black in that in order to make like certain items and characters appear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, having said what I said, I think maybe I'll backpedal a little bit because Demon Souls might be more like Elden Ring than the others because of the way in Demon Souls you have the option of going wherever you want in that game.
Oh, yeah.
You're not stuck to a linear path in that game either. Like once you finish the first level, it's like, okay, here's all the areas. Do them in whatever order you want.
Yeah, you can die in many different ways. We won't hold that against you.
If you're struggling, go somewhere else. Try that for a bit.
You know what this game really reminds me of is the original Legend of Zelda. Because you can go anywhere, upgrade, get any item you want, but you don't have to do a specific order. At least that's where I am I'm not that far in the story. I know there's a story eventually, and that even in Legend of Zelda, you do eventually have to get to the end.
We still have to talk about the story.
I want to jump on that, Eric, because remember I said I was playing Final Fantasy 1 earlier, and I realized I Final Fantasy 1 doesn't hold your hand at all. Like, this game came out in 1989, and it was basically like, let's make D&D into a friggin' video game. A+. I had to jump on a walkthrough because I couldn't remember what part was next. And then it went, oh, you should be doing this. And I was like, wait a minute, I already did these 2 dungeons. Like, oh, no, you should already have your airship. I did 2 dungeons before I was, like, supposed to. But that's the thing is, like, that's what this game is like, right? Like, it's been 32 years.
In 1 week? No.
It's been. That's what this game is like. But, like, we used to get games like that. But, like, Zelda, like Final Fantasy 1 and 2, where, like, it didn't like, there were areas you could not get to because you didn't have your boat or you didn't have your canoe or your airship or whatever. But technically, you could do things in whatever order you wanted, as long as, like, I grinded through and beat a bunch of bosses I shouldn't have been able to beat yet.
A really good representation of that question you have is ask like 5 or 6 different people who are streaming the game or playing the game. How long did it take you to get the horse?
I got mine right away.
For some people, they got it right away. For people like me, I played 4 hours before I found it.
Yeah, I got it the night.
I think I played around
like 8 or 9 hours going, where do I get the goddamn horse? Like,
because I was talking to Hawk and I was like, yeah, I can't. And then I was on my horse and he's like, where do you get the horse? I was like, I got it at a random campfire. I don't even remember where.
It's that, or I'm like, they're like, how do you level your sword up past like level 3? I go, oh, through the hub, the blacksmith at the hub. Like, where do you get the fucking hub?
Yep.
Like,
yeah. I was talking to Hawk about it. He's like, what the hell is the round table?
What the hell does a round table? I haven't been there yet.
This is what's interesting to me, because I have a bunch of friends I play D&D with, and right now they're like 3 guys. They're all playing Elden Ring, and one of them will just play entirely by himself, won't do any co-op. You guys are, kind of doing a little co-op, kind of jumping in every once in a while. Yeah. My 2 buddies in the States, they go on their PS5s, they get in a call, they sit in for like 9 hours, they sit there, they play the game, and they don't do the same thing, but they go, hey, what about this? And they'll just communicate constantly. And the second they need a co-op partner, they summon each other, right? Because they want to play the game co-op, and they've done it for Neo and every Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and all that stuff. But they sit there and they play it together, and then, most of the time they're playing together, not like individually, and then like water cooler talk about the game.
I'm perfectly fine jumping in. If someone else wants help in their game, I will jump into someone else's. For me personally, though, I want my first playthrough of this game to be 100% solo. I don't want anyone coming in. I don't want people telling me where things are. I don't want to know anything. I want to just go in fresh. But if someone asks me a question, I'll go on for hours about it if you want.
Brent, I have a question. Have you been invaded yet? I heard that was a thing.
Not by a human, but I've had 2 NPC invasions thus far.
I'm sorry. He meant in Elden Ring, not in real life.
Oh yeah, no, no, yeah. I heard that that random PvP people. I remember this happening in Bloodborne as well, where people would just randomly come in. I didn't like that.
I typically don't play in online mode for that reason, because I don't want to get randomly invaded after because they always do it in the spots where you're struggling the most, and they know people are struggling there. So then it's like, as soon as you're in there and you're fighting 60 guys at once, they're like, I'm gonna go in and fuck this guy's day up.
Yeah. I put it.
That's
that was bizarrely one of the most fascinating aspects of the Souls games, especially back in Demon Souls and that, because it's just like down in like some mine, trying to get to the end, and that it's surrounded by trolls, and all of a sudden the big red letters appear across the screen. You've been invaded, and you're just like, no.
So much emotional damage that game did to us, but so many memories.
Let's see. We talked about gameplay. What do you guys think of the sound and music? Because I think it's very, very good.
It's
epic.
Okay,
Eric, do you guys all play with headphones?
I play with headphones.
Do you PS5 headphones, or like just because Sony Mark Cerny went hard on the audio?
I have PS5 headphones. Yeah, these ones.
Yeah, I use the PS5 headphones when I'm just playing offline, and when I'm streaming, I got my Beats on.
When I'm streaming, I use my Bose ones.
What I will say about the music is, have you heard the singing yet?
Yes. It's so good.
It is one of the best things in the game, where I'm walking and I just hear this siren song in the distance. And I'm like running around trying to, where the fuck is this? Yep. And like, you're following the audio and pinpointing exactly where it is. And it's getting louder, louder, louder. You're traversing. You finally find it. And like, I won't spoil it for you, Hawk. But
Okay.
there's several moments in the game where you will hear this singing, and you're just like, "What the fuck is that?"
I gotta be honest.
Am I saying that right?
I haven't
I
found
must
it, but
find
I
it.
was looking for it, and I was like, I don't know where this is, and I just kept on going around, and I was like, this is great, but I gotta go.
Yeah, I won't spoil what it is, but like,
I have a
there's
feeling
several
they're-
times you're gonna
they're-
hear stuff like that.
I have a feeling they're gonna pull an Odyssey on me when I find it.
Probably.
Yeah.
We're going on a what? An Odyssey. Why is it called that? Well, it's the only guy who survived. What?
Is there anything else you guys want to talk? Like, Elden Ring is a game I know it's gonna divide people because I know people that want to play this but aren't into Souls-esque games, and I honestly don't. If you're not a Souls type player, I don't think you're gonna like this.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I've known at least 3 people now that are not Souls players who have decided to try it and are converted because of this
Good.
game.
I think this is a good intro,
Like,
but
my buddy Chris, like I got him to play the Neo series with me because of the co-op aspect of it, because he was like, I'm not playing those games by myself. I'll play it if you help me. He got I did co-op with him for about an hour today, and then I had to go down for my dental appointment. And I'm looking at my phone all day long, and it's just constant messages from him going, I just beat this guy. I just found this area. I just beat this. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking ahead of me now. Like,
nice. I'm thinking mostly of Marcus and Shows, because I don't think they're gonna like this game.
Yeah, I know. So, like, Bloodborne did shows his head in, you know? Like, I think he had enough with Souls games after that one. And
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, I got to say about the combat system and that it retains all the stuff that in Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and that people have come up through the ranks playing, and that they know that system and that. One of the things that frustrated a lot of people was the whole parry system and that, because there's some people who are really good at doing it, and if you're good at doing it, it really it helps your game along. But if you're not, then you just get wasted in that. So it still gives you the option of parry, but it also introduces that whole weapon arts thing and that I believe
the
was
weapon arts are where it's at.
Yeah, I believe that the whole system was introduced in Dark Souls 3 and that. But basically now they're attachable elements. Like if you favor a particular weapon and you want to, you can put any different art on it. They're called Ashes of War. There's some good ones. There's some really great ones.
Not yet.
Yeah, and
Bloody Slash on my Uchi Katana is where it's fucking at.
That
oh my
all
god,
sounds like gibberish.
What classes are you guys playing? Sorry, Brent, you're a samurai, right?
I'm doing samurai. Yeah,
I started as Confessor.
Yeah, Confessors. Yeah, me and you.
Yeah.
My buddy, one of my buddies from the States started as a samurai, and he said he started over as a wretch. He said it was too easy as a samurai. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but I bet it. Like, I'm like, I bet some things are easy, but I bet it is because your magic or whatever is going to be super low. But I don't know. Like, I just suspect that even though the samurai looks overpowered to start, I'm like, I know that's not going to be the case. Like, having not even played these games, I know that's not going to be the case.
Yeah.
There's a lot of balancing issues that this game has that need to be worked out. And I think that is something that will get patched eventually. Because as a samurai, like the first 10 hours I played, I was struggling. And I'm like a hardcore veteran of these games. And I was getting my ass handed to me. And then as soon as I learned the sword arts and started using those, it clicked and the game shifted to where now I'm running around destroying everything.
Yeah.
And I think that there's they need to balance things like that where the sword arts are a little too powerful. Some of the magics in the game are a little too powerful, but the straight up combat is very weak in the game. And it takes a long time to really level your character up in this one. Like you don't get as many souls from enemies to use for experience points, and then when you do, the experience points go up exponentially compared to the other games. I'm only at level 40 and it's already costing me over 10,000 per level, which is ridiculous.
I'm very early in the game, but part of me is wondering if I just restart as a magic user. Like, I love having both the melee and magic.
Confessor was a magic user.
He's both.
Yeah. That's the problem in these games is that everybody wants to be so balanced in that they want to be able to use melee, they want to be able to use magic at the same time.
Yeah,
no, not me.
You gotta make a choice because you if you want to be a good magic user in that, you gotta throw all your I'm
debating just going straight into magic now because I like Confessor that you can do certain magic things, but most of it is melee.
And they're mostly faith build magic in that, which is way different from normal magic.
Yeah.
Like every game of these I played, I always do either a dex or a quality build, like focus on dexterity alone or dex and strength. And I went into this one going, I want to do a dexterity intelligence build so that I can incorporate some magics into it. But once I hit my dexterity up to like 25 and got my weapon up to like plus 13, I was like, fuck magic. Like, I don't need it now. Like,
I think my like I normally play magic classes in other types of games, not the Souls games. I usually went with a swords type person, but I feel like part of me is leaning towards magic. I don't know why.
Magic is very rewarding in Souls games. Like, it feels kind of cool because it's a timing thing as well as like there's a lot more thought to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's everything in Souls games is very satisfying. So even shooting something is a little, there's experience involved.
Yeah.
Can you focus on using like a ranged weapon, like a bow, in this game as well? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Especially if you're doing a dexterity build.
So I can build a stealth archer.
Yeah, no, I was going to say
That's so good.
That's actually
the samurai
what I
build
do
starts you with a katana and a bow.
Oh,
yeah. No, I always go for a bow character who's light on armor and can roll around a bit and backstab if I have to.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's my build. So
yeah, I know. I ran into issues on the weekend on that because I found like that great longsword. They give you it pretty early on in the game. Plus, I also found this brass shield, which is like 100% like
that
physical.
sounds very heavy.
It was. I started out. I until I threw a bunch of points at my stamina and endurance and that. Like I wasn't able to wield it in that.
That's awesome.
And, yeah.
Interesting.
So David, do you want to go back to Lost Ark, press some G's? You want to G?
No, but we could rock and stone.
Is there any final things we want to say about Elden Ring? I do highly recommend this game. It is very good.
Number one game on Steam right now.
I actually had to stop playing it because I knew that if I got really into it, I wouldn't be able to play the game that I'm going to talk about next.
Yeah. I guess the last thing I want to say about it is it continues that tradition in the storytelling where it's like they don't give you everything at once. You don't go through these cutscenes with a lot of exposition that tells you exactly what's happening in that. You have to go in and research the story in that yourself and that. If you want, the stories are revealed through the items you discover in that, because when you go into your inventory, there's this little thing in that, giving a description in that, but they'll also throw in pieces of lore.
Isn't that what everybody liked about Destiny, is that the story was there if you wanted to find it, right?
Sort of. It is a little bit.
Sort of.
What were
This
the things
one
called?
Grimoire.
Yeah.
This game is very much that too, where it's like what I love so much more about this one than the other FromSoft games is they actively encourage you to go and seek out lore and story. To the point where I don't know if you guys have encountered this, but there was one area where there's this giant mausoleum on top of a platform with 4 legs, and it's stomping around the area.
Yep.
And you're like, how the fuck do you get up to that building? You think, do you get to a cliff? Do you do this? And then I start just exploring around, and I just happen to find this like piece of writing somewhere, and I go and I read that writing, and it basically like gives you a hint to how to take that thing down and get into the building. And I'm like, this game has found a way to actively put things in that inspire you to go out and seek out the story. Like,
yep. No, it's the way that these games have always worked in that. If anybody doesn't have the patience for it, in that there is this guy. He's called, hold on.
Batman?
The YouTuber. It's not Batman.
Batman's a scientist.
I mean, that's how it works in Final Fantasy. OG Final Fantasy is like, I don't know where to go next. I better talk to some villagers and see what they have. Like, there's a thing. There's a cave.
I love how
go
awesome YouTube is right now for mythology and stuff for all of this, because there are times when I just don't want to read all of it, especially with like Destiny history, but there are some amazing YouTubers that'll just like talk to me about it, and I'll just be like, yeah, let's do that.
So it's this YouTuber called Vati Vidya, VAATIVIDYA.
oh, I think I've seen him.
He is great. He's really good at compiling the lore and that, and he has a great kind of somnambulistic British voice for reading it and that. And it
perfect.
Really
that's a perfect voice for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like his video on the Bloodborne lore is fantastic.
Oh, I would love to hear that. I love the Bloodborne lore in general.
Actually, the blood, that's bad. I've been trying to avoid it because I've heard so much good stuff about the lore, so I still have to actually just play the game properly.
Are you talking about Bloodborne?
Yeah, Bloodborne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did you not play that? I thought you played that with us.
No, I didn't play it with you guys. That's kind of when I started to kind of have my issues with
That's
playing
fair.
games properly.
No worries.
Bloodborne. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the games I'm purposely avoiding story because I do intend to try to play it through one day.
I want to play it through again too.
I have a weird feeling like that might become a project for Blue Point at some point in the future, and then they remake that for PS5. And
Was there not a rumor of Bloodborne 2 coming out in the next couple of years?
There's constantly been a rumor of that they're either going to do a remaster of Bloodborne or that there's going to be a sequel. I don't think there's ever going to be a sequel. I don't think there is.
Oh man,
no, I doubt that.
They're steering too much into the new IPs now instead of constantly going back to the well.
That's fair.
Yeah. Plus, Miyazaki doesn't like to do sequels and that. So, and if there was going to be a sequel, it would have to be him, but he doesn't like doing them.
I think the only sequel we really want to see from an old PS3 game is The Order 1886 or PS4, right?
Oh my god!
Yes. Eric from his own call.
All done with Elden Ring. This game is very good, and
go play it.
I want to see it on PC.
Yeah, I actually want to get off and go play it some more.
Yeah, no, I wanted to pick it up, and the only reason I haven't is because my other friends are too involved with Lost Ark. So I'm gonna continue with that. And from what I've understood, there's still some PC problems, but I am probably gonna get it on the PC.
Get on PS5.
So
apparently it's the smoothest experience, and it's
no, you brought this up last week, Eric, and you said it was you probably should get it for the PS5 because it was built for it, and you were totally right. So I don't know. We'll see. How
the controls are so good. The haptic controls are very good.
And
why are you agreeing, Hawk? You don't have
it.
haptic controls.
I know. I know. But the controls for the game in general are great.
It took me forever to figure out how to gesture, and I was like, oh, you just have to go to this side of the menu. Fuck. Not that you need to gesture. Anyway, let's move on to the last game of February that needs any sort of talk. It's Horizon Forbidden West. That's the action role-playing video game developed by Guerrilla Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for the PS4 and PS5. It's a sequel to 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn, single-player open-world game set in a post-apocalyptic version of the western United States. In it, the player, Aloy, must travel and complete missions using survival skills, melee attacks, and long-distance weapons in a world overrun by a deadly plague, hostile machines, and other survivors. Basically, this continues the story of Aloy, who is a young hunter from the Nora tribe, and she and her friends are on a quest to sort of find out why there's this mysterious plague. You see it in the trailers. There's this red plague that's killing everything in the world. On her journey, she encounters more regions. She gets shifted off to the west side of the United States. This includes Nevada, California, and I don't remember what the other place is.
Wait, what? Is this
San Francisco, right?
San Francisco is in California.
Fallout 2.
Yeah, that's right.
It was Earth all along.
It was Earth all along.
That's what happened. Yeah, Fallout 1 was like one part, and then Fallout 2 specifically moved to New Reno, Nevada, like San Francisco. We're all in Fallout 2.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it
more
is.
Green and more robot
And more tribal, I want to say.
No, you are tribal in Fallout 2.
Yeah, and the second one.
I don't remember that one.
I do. It's my favorite game ever.
You're also the chosen one in Horizon Forbidden West as
Do you have
Aloy.
to go find a Gek from Vic the Trader? Is that
No.
the plot of the game?
That is exactly what happened. There's actually a couple of fun Easter eggs
Klamath is to the east.
in this game because they have Easter eggs for God of War. They've got Easter eggs for Destiny. It's fun. This is a much bigger game than the first Horizon game. They've also updated a number of their attacks. There's 4 main new I don't want to say weapons, but it's 4 main new components that you use throughout your game. One is like a grappling hook, one is like a glider. There's some other stuff that they haven't shown in the trailers that are, a little bit of the
There's
mysteries.
also
the underwater breather thing.
Yeah, there's also that new energy weapon to your combat where you basically build up this charge, you transfer it over to your enemy and then have slow motion.
Yeah, they revamped a lot of the combat. You have supers now, which is weird and neat and actually very useful. I didn't use it they've disappeared for the first half of the game. And I'm pretty sure I'm near the end. What I enjoy about this game is that the story is very, very good. It continues directly after the previous game. This is about 6 months after you destroy Hades, I want to say. No, that's not right. Hades is the program. And
the killer AI.
Yeah, and basically what happens with her, and I don't want to ruin the story because I was talking to Hawk about this when I was playing the game, and I was like, I hit a point in the story where it's just like, fuck, I have to finish this game, and I can't play Elden Ring because if I go to Elden Ring, I'm just never going to come back to this game. And the story was good enough that I was like, I have to beat this game, and I haven't beat it yet, but I'm a number of hours in. The gameplay is pretty much the same. The combat is, the same. You collect shit. My issue with this game is mostly gameplay related. I think the controls are stuck in the last generation. They feel a little weird and wonky. Like, when you were going around in Ghost of Tsushima, you just press triangle to pick up stuff and you just pick it up. This one you have to hold triangle down until the little circle thing goes around and you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to pick up this one little thing. I'm going to pick up this berry. And it sort of slows combat down. And I feel like...
Well, maybe Aloy has arthritis.
She has been hitting a lot of people. So, and the spear might hurt stuff. I find I was also very annoyed with the controls, like movement wise. I think she has a really wide radius when she turns. And I don't think the climbing is very smooth anymore. I don't know if that's a leftover from the previous game, but I remember everything being very smooth in the first game. I don't know if
this one feels a little bit clunkier in those aspects, and it's kind of the first time I noticed there's no such thing as a lock-on in this game, is there?
Yes, there is.
Is there a lock-on?
Yeah, R3. It's the same thing. It's normal.
Really?
Yeah. Like every other game.
I've been playing this game. I didn't even realize. It's not very well explained in that. My biggest issue so far was that the launch was I had some real bug issues probably before the patch and maybe a little bit after the patch.
I think it's a buggy game for sure. The only thing that's really keeping me going is the story, which I really enjoy. The combat is getting a little bit more fun, and I think they have smoothed out a couple of the bugs, but there are times when I'll get stuck under a fucking ledge and I'll be like, why am I here? There's also, they've added underwater elements in this game, which is exploration. That's their big thing. Let me think. Any other thing? Anyone, if you have questions, please shoot them to me. This game is gorgeous. This is a PS5 game that made me feel like I did during Ghost of Tsushima. It's
also out on PS4 though, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know how does it look on PS4. Good? Is it? I've sent you enough screenshots from the PS5 version. How does it look compared?
Are you on the PS4 or the PS4 Pro, Hawk?
PS4 Pro. So I got a little bit of an advantage there in that, but obviously
there's 4 teraflops more or something like that.
Yeah. But again, with the PS5 and that, we don't get the ray tracing and aspects and that. So
I'm playing on performance and not on graphic mode. The graphic mode I find quite slow.
I don't think. I don't know how much ray tracing a game like that you would want to do because that would really suck. I mean, I know the PS5 is very powerful, but that ray tracing sucks a lot of juice.
It does. It does. This. I dropped under 30 FPS when I was playing on graphical mode. Definitely down to 20 and maybe 15 at a point. And I was like, nope, that ain't happening. Going back up to 60.
Yeah. Eric sent me an article and that afterwards, and that there's this whole laundry list of things you got to go turn off in the preferences and that to get a better graphic performance out of it.
For the PS4,
from turning off the motion blurring and that for the slowdowns.
Step 1: turn off PlayStation 4. Step 2: buy PlayStation 5.
I would, but they don't have any.
I know, they're so hard.
Step 3: when steps 1 and 2 are unavailable, buy PC.
If only this will come out eventually.
Luck getting a video card.
Yeah.
Even though they just announced a bunch of new stuff, doesn't matter. Still can't get shit.
Everything
at Best Buy sold out like that.
Yeah. This game won't come out on PC for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what happened with the first one as well. Although PlayStation is slowly putting out more and more PlayStation exclusives. Like God of War came out just this.
Gotta compete with Xbox.
Well, I suspect like they're selling as many consoles. I mean, the console's basically sold out, right? So they're selling as many consoles as they can make. So regardless of whether or not, I think the problem is because the consoles aren't necessarily getting in people's hands, they might go, well, we know PC is a huge fucking player base. So if we sell the game on PC, we can at least sell units there. Mm-hmm. Because if people don't have the PS5, they can't buy the game. So at least on PC, they can buy it. That's probably not what Sony's thinking. It's probably just like, well, we already sold all of the copies we're going to sell for God of War. Let's move it to PC now and sell a bunch more copies.
Because people are just like, fuck, I want to play that game.
Yeah.
So many copies of God of War.
Yeah. I think the majority of this game that I very much enjoy is the graphics, the sound, and the story. The gameplay is the thing that hinders this the most for me personally. I know I've been playing online and talking to Hawk, and I swear at the game frequently, just climbing. And there are times I've jumped off a mountain by accident because Aloy would just be like, nope. And I'd be like, why? Why?
You know what that makes me think of is when we went from Assassin's Creed 2 Revelations, which is the third Ezio game, to Assassin's Creed 3. They went, guys, we've heard your issues. We know you have lots of issues with the parkour and the jumping and stuff in Assassin's Creed. We fixed them. Then you play Assassin's Creed 3 and they made it so much fucking worse.
What kills me is that I was playing the Uncharted remaster just a couple of weeks ago, and playing Nathan Drake and having him climb and run around the place and just dodge and stuff was so much better.
I suspect that might partially because what you're playing in Horizon is sandbox open world.
Mm-hmm.
Not technically. Uncharted is a sandbox game, but it's not open world.
Mm-hmm. There are open world sections.
You mean in Uncharted?
4, yeah. And Lost.
It's still a sandbox.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Open world game is like GTA,
you can go wherever.
Where you can go anywhere you want at any time. Right? A sandbox is we put you in an area and then you can run around in that area. Sometimes they're bigger, sometimes they're smaller. So they don't have to keep. It's not like they load everything all the time, but it meant they knew exactly where everything was going to be and don't have to add a lot. In a game like Horizon, you can't just have one path up everywhere, right? So that introduces a ton of issues especially if this game is bigger.
It is bigger,
So making the game bigger, probably for the sake of making it bigger, like somebody just went, well, it's got to be bigger. How much? 10%, 15%?
But
did they?
Yeah. So when I think of bigger maps, I think of how Valhalla had the fucking giantest map. This is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Had the biggest map, and like it was such a big fucking map, and there's little parts everywhere, and it just didn't want to go everywhere. The good thing about Horizon is that the variety is in the map. And it doesn't feel like I'm just fucking chasing my head around the whole map. I don't know if that makes it better for someone, but it made this world it didn't feel as chaotic as Valhalla. And I didn't want to finish that map when I saw it.
I mean, isn't there a benefit to being able to create your world versus like AC Valhalla, where they wanted to we want to make it as period accurate as possible. It's like, great, there's 3 encampments here. And you can go to England. And that's what England looks like. It looks like England, in whatever it is, like 1066 or whatever, or 950. And whereas Horizon's like, well, it's whatever the fuck we want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? It's a big ass map too. And I like it.
Yeah. It's huge. I got lost, I didn't progress very far in the story in that. I got past the embassy in that, basically, but then I just started.
The first main mission.
I know. And then I just kind of
passed the credits.
Yeah. And then I just got lost in that. Yeah, just looking around for stuff. And, all of a sudden, oh shit, I've run into a big encampment of machines. But and then Elden Rings came out, and Horizon. I didn't get far in that it hooked me like it did you.
There's one main story point that made me go fuck. When you're in Horizon, what was the first one called? Horizon Zero Dawn. When you find out what happened to the world, that was the main, the big thing in the middle, and you're like, fuck, I have to find out what happened. Something like that happens pretty early, like maybe a quarter of the way through the story of this game.
This is why knowing that I only had a week between this and Elden Ring is why I only got as far as downloading it. And that's it. Like
That's fair.
I'm not even touching this game until I'm done with Elden Ring for that reason.
I figured I'm gonna spend way more time in Elden Ring than this game, so I was like, I have to finish this game, or it's just gonna sit there amongst like all the other games I've never finished. Like, I don't know, just the two of us, or games like that.
We'll get back to that one day.
That being said, I do think this is a good game. Despite all my qualms with the gameplay or certain gameplay aspects, I think this is a game worth playing. The voice cast is fucking incredible. Just incredible. Yes. I was in a random camp and I was like, is that Tuvok talking to me? And it was fucking Tuvok. Tuvok is a character in this game. I did not realize it.
When you hear Tim Russ's voice, you know that.
Exactly. And I was sitting there like, I know that voice. I know that well. I also, Carrie Ann Moss is in the game, and like Ashley Birch is amazing as Aloy, as always. And just the supporting cast, like the animation is gorgeous. The dinosaurs are bigger and crazier than they were in the last game. In the last game, they got pretty crazy. There are times I was like, I guess I'm fighting this giant fucking kaiju-esque T-Rex or this fucking giant elephant, like a mammoth. Robot mammoth, and oh man, it's keeping me going. Like I really like the story enough that I'm just gonna look at OBS windows on Dave's screen.
I'm sorry, that wasn't supposed to come up.
Yeah. No, I will. Yeah. I will eventually get back to it. Once I've had a good chunk of Elden Ring played. Yeah. But I've no doubt it's going to show up. A lot of that Horizon's going to show up on some top 10 lists.
I'm hoping that they get past, like they patch it enough that some of that gameplay last gen feel that I'm getting gets patched out. That's the only thing that really bugs me about the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. I don't know if that's something they can do, but it seems like that should be something they can tweak. Yeah.
Like the traversal, it's that OBS window just keeps coming out. Traversal is my biggest issue.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to adjust that over time.
Any thoughts on Horizon? I guess I'm the only one that really played it. If you have any questions about it, no.
Oh, really?
I was contemplating getting like an hour of it in just so I could have like some opinion on it, but then I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna wait.
That hour of Horizon, you would not even get a real
that's
feel
exactly
about
what I figured.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I figured would happen.
I think the embassy is about 3 hours in. Does that seem right?
Yeah, pretty much. And then like I get lost. It was like because like a side quest will pop up or a question mark will pop up on the map. And it's like I'm pretty close to that. Maybe I'll go explore what that is.
Oh, they love teasing you on the way to your actual main mission.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Look at this. There's just a little. There's a fire just over there. Just go get it.
Don't worry.
And then you'll get a mission over there. Like fuck. I guess I'm never gonna go to this main mission. Yeah. The visuals are gorgeous. When you get to Las Vegas and you get to San Francisco, you're just like, fuck. They made there's another thing that I thought was amazing. I remember back when God of War came out and everyone's like, oh shit, look, you can see your feet in the snow with Kratos. This game, when you're walking in tall grass, it'll flatten all the grass as you're walking. So you can see the path you took and you can like run around. And the same thing happens in sand, snow. The water ripples properly as you swim in it. It's so fucking crazy what they can do in video games. Like it's gorgeous.
But does it have horse testicles?
They're
like Red Dead.
Well, the thing
does it
is,
have fish physics like Call of Duty.
there are fish physics in Call of Duty.
That was like 8 years ago. They're like the fish have physics. Like there was this whole thing, and it was just some fish. The fish just move away from you on one of the levels. It was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, I think. And if you could go in water, and the fish would move away from you. It's
the fish are sentient.
That's an old meme.
All of the mounts are robots, so there are no horse testicles, unfortunately. Not even robo testicles.
Are you saying the robots aren't fully functional?
That's not realistic. I'm out. That's going to kill my immersion right there. David's
They're not programmed.
You're saying we can't put a metal pole arm down there?
No metal pole arms. Yes, I will.
I can't wait to see the grass. No, sorry, I didn't mean to waylay you there.
No.
I'm very interested to see the grass and the.
It's not even something that they're like that they've talked about in the media or anything. It's just something I noticed when I was running around one day. I was like, what the?
Yeah,
I made it.
The details are really neat.
Like a bunch of games have talked about that stuff. Like, look, this thing does this, and the gamers are like, just make it look better.
Yeah, this game does look better. It's gorgeous. Again, too many screenshots that I can say. Are there any other video games that are coming out soon that we want to actually look at?
Have a Nice Death comes out next week.
Let's
I'm
have a
very
nice
excited for that one.
Oh,
It's that new
yeah.
roguelike that was introduced during the
Oh
Game Awards.
That looks awesome.
That does look amazing.
That's coming out next Friday. Strangers of Paradise comes out the week after.
Brent, did you play
Gran Turismo comes out next week.
Gran Turismo?
Oh my god, that's next week.
It's next week, or no, it might be this week.
Oh my god.
I think it's actually this week it comes out.
I'm not playing that game for a while.
I'll be playing that in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Brent, did you play Deathloop?
Yes.
Okay. It's 50% on the
not for
Humble
very-
Store right now.
Yeah, not for very long. I didn't really care too much for it.
Apparently, people say don't play it on PC. That it's not as good on PC again.
Holy shit! March 4th is coming out on Friday.
What, Gran Turismo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
You know what though? That is not a game that will get worse with time.
no,
You know, it will only get better with time.
that game. Yeah, well, they said they were continually updating it anyway because, you know, it's Gran Turismo.
There'll be new cars, there'll be new tracks, right? They'll do all kinds of good stuff.
I just want to see the weather system in it. Like it just blows my brain.
Yeah.
Before we go, I have something great for Steve. This is why you kept saying the thing. Oh, it's blurred. No, one second. 1 second.
Blur House.
No,
Blur House.
no, I really fucked it up now.
I actually can't make it out at all.
No.
I don't get this reference. I don't remember.
Hold on. There you go.
Shadow Warrior 3 comes out soon.
Yeah,
All I've done is hit
good.
G.
Very good.
Oh, it is.
I like it. Yeah, I was gonna say I've been trying to do a first-person shooter thing for like 2 years now. I'm still not, but yeah, Shadow Warrior 3 comes out shortly, and actually, I've heard really good things about it because the second one was a bit of a mess, and 3 seems like a fun kind of like Doom Eternal. Inspired in some aspects, but also very much its own thing. Just like a fun, silly game, not as much like garbage toilet humor as the other ones. Just actually looks good. So I might go into it. We'll
You
see
know,
if I
there
can
is one other game that came out in February that 3 of us have played. That's Sifu.
Oh yeah. I actually wrote down
yeah.
one line here. This was my review of it. This is a game that is rewarding for those who enjoy Asian entrance exams.
That's very
I
accurate.
don't, so maybe that's why I didn't like the game.
I
Yeah.
really gotta play Sifu because I think that is like my kind of game.
I was talking to Steve about this, and there are times, and I'm pretty good with button combos and stuff. There are times when it just won't register, and I don't understand why.
Wireless controllers, man. Wireless
I always
controllers.
wire my controller.
Yeah.
Do they
It's
not
nothing to do with that. It's there is no like the combat fluidity in that game is so specific and so difficult to pull off that if you spend the time to really learn it and do it, I could see the game being fun. For me, maybe because I was half drunk when I played it, I was fucking frustrated the entire time. I was like, I can't do anything. I can't even button mash. Like,
Yeah,
Oh, you can't.
you can't button mash in this game at all.
No, this is the absolute opposite of button mash.
yeah, but I couldn't button
don't
mash.
know.
I couldn't pull specific combos off. I had no enjoyment in the
I haven't-
game at
I haven't
all.
gotten back to it. Just I do want to play it. But yeah, I understand. Like, what I agree with Eric. I'm not totally sure whether it's the fault of my controller, the fault of me, or if there's a fault in the game. I'm going to blame myself for now. But have you seen some of the mods? Did you get it on PC or?
I'm on PC.
Okay, yeah. There's all these hilarious mods. You can download skins. You can be like Chun-Li or Daredevil or Batman. It's like freaking hilarious.
I just want to get
That's
past the
weird.
level.
That's what this Asian game needs. A bunch of
You
white
can get
people
past
to
the first
play as.
level.
Oh, okay, fine.
I-
Chun-Li then. There we go.
Steve, how far did you get in the game?
Oh, I only finished the first 2 levels. So
So you're in the museum.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the museum as well.
I didn't get past the club. I was happy that the first boss in the game was the Steve Buscemi lookalike. I was
Yep.
like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, I just want to beat this guy and I'll be satisfied. And then he was the first boss. I'm like, oh, thank God.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever been as frustrated at a game boss than the club boss.
Yeah.
I don't think
yeah.
I've ever. Yeah, go for it, Hawk.
Can I ask a question? Does the Steve Buscemi boss say you should see the other guy at any point?
That would make it better.
You should see the other guy.
No, I decided after I got to where I got, and I think Eric, you were saying something similar too. I just need to go back and start over because, like, I have to complete the first level in a better state, right? Like, you can't go through the game like aging the way you do. You know?
I beat the first level with one death. That's it. The second one, the boss just took it all away, just all of it. Yeah. Except for the last two deaths, and I was like, I can't beat the third level with two things, and I don't want to go back to the second level at all.
I played through the first level, I think 4 times, and I never once got to level 2 under the age of 45.
Mm-hmm. And you need to be under 25 so that you can upgrade the weapon stuff before you get to 3. Jeez.
So wait. So you obviously every time you die, you age up.
You age.
Yeah. The more times you die, the more exponential it gets.
Right. But if you beat a boss as you go through, the younger you are. When you get older, when you die, are you saying that like you get skills?
So you can unlock certain skills at certain age ranges.
That will carry on, obviously, right? Because
only if you do it a certain amount of times.
You get them in the game, and then once you finish the game, you have the option of permanently unlocking them in like the hub area of it.
Oh, I'm
also completing worlds does unlock some stuff because you get to start the next stage with whatever you locked in the first world.
Yeah.
So if you do exceptionally well in the first world, you will actually have unlocked some powers, and hopefully kept your age low. And then you bring that into the next world.
So you have to do well to unlock these things. It's not like, listen, because what I was thinking was like, okay,
they don't reward you for passing. Like I said, Asian entrance exams.
No. What I mean is like, it's like when you're 25. No, what I mean is like I don't know. I don't quite understand how the aging works, like in universe terms.
It's
but
hard,
it is like, but like if I'm 25 and I can do this stuff, 20 years later, presumably I kept up with my training. I didn't just die in this fight. You know what I mean? Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
It's a weird system. Like,
but that's not what's actually happening. Obviously.
No. It's a weird it's a weird mechanic that they put into the game, I guess, for you to be able to like experiment and try and sort of see the potential end game, like in advance, but you understand that you actually need to earn it at an earlier stage, so it allows you to sort of have a little bit of insight into what's possible, but at the same time punishes you for like not doing well enough.
Because of your comment on Asian entrance exams, Steven, I have to ask, have you at all played Yakuza Like a Dragon?
No,
that game is funny.
Yeah.
So in that game, one of the ways that you can level up your skills is there's a vocational school that you can go to.
Oh no.
And there's like classes that you can enroll in to take. And now I went and did this, and I was like, okay, they take this class and it'll upgrade your social skill by 2 points. So I'm thinking I'm going to go in and just like pay for it, and they just like give it to you, or I have like a quick little mini game. They legitimately give you a knowledge quiz with no prerequisites.
It's like Persona.
No, nothing. Like you're just expected to know this shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, how much?
Yep.
And it's not like general knowledge either. Like half of it, I was just guessing and going like, well, fuck, I hope I get this right. I hope at least if I fail, they tell me which ones were wrong. Like,
amazing. So anyway, we're done. We should probably get off. There are a couple games that I'm looking forward to. I hope we get to talk about it. Forspoken comes out in May as well. And then 2 Point Campus. It's coming out. I believe Ghostwire Tokyo is coming out sometime this year, and I don't know if people are looking forward to that.
Salt and Sacrifice comes out early May as well. May 10th, I believe.
Well, I guess May is going to be our next February. Good Lord. Anyway, thanks guys for coming on and talking about all this hotness. We shall come back in a couple days. We're not going to be here tomorrow for D&D, but if enough people watch Batman this weekend, maybe we'll do a quick Batman review next week. Or something. We'll figure out some stuff. Maybe I'll play some Destiny. No, I'm just joking, Hawk. No, don't do it. I'm like, we'll see.
What we should play.
Rock and Stone.
Rock and Stone.
We'll do that tomorrow. If you guys want to. Anyway, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidstn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.